What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell. Let's go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and find them right here with us around the 8:30 mark. All right, and we'll talk to them about Kevin Durant injury now, a little contusion. Okay, you rest players and get cute. Karma is a bitch. Hate to see it. And then we'll talk Phils with the doc and whatever everybody else has got. So we got a lot on the docket tonight. Tom Arnone, Brian Wilson, Greg Milakovic. No Uncle Sweeps tonight. The show will go on though. Crumb of the week. Who is it? We'll tell you at the end of the show. Sixers versus Warriors. We'll preview that game tomorrow night. Another ESPN game for the 10-9 8ers. And now the Nets lose today against Miami. Bam, with a game winner. So now Nets a game and a half behind us. And I keep saying that game they wanted to just give away, essentially. Nothing's given, right? I get that. But the game you essentially are willing to give away, it's going to come back and bite you at the end of the year. And I cannot wait.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
Can't wait for the Nets to lose, to be second in the Eastern Conference by one game. One game out of first. One game. Can't wait to talk about that. Can't wait for that. What are we, like 15, 16 games away from that conversation? Looking forward. Really, what I like to look forward to, I don't look forward to this, but Gabe Kapler returns. I hope to look forward to the Phillies that are 7-2 at home and have been playing great baseball at home. Continue that style of baseball and let's sweep the Giants. Okay, because I can't hear about the better manager, like ABs. I cannot. This team has a problem playing on the road.
Let's just say 2 or 3. I don't need a sweep, but I'd love a sweep. But 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Still leaves the oil cats and the spitting out Sunday type of guys, still leaves them able to chirp it up a little bit. So if you
you should pay no mind to those guys. Okay, they should pay you no mind, absolutely no mind. Anyone that's okay with spitting out Sundays, I had no time for you. Who wants to take ice cream, bite it, and spit it out? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Literally, I remember when we heard that. It was like one of the couple days after we hired Gabe, and we said, "This dude's a psychopath. He's fucking. He's gonna stink. It's never gonna work." And we were dead right. I mean, you know why? Because you hit the nail on the head one time. That's a psychopath move. Absolute psychopath move.
I forgot to mention. Sorry, with the Sixers, George Hill will make his return debut. Sorry, not a return. Return to the court. Debut with the Sixers tomorrow night versus the Warriors. So stay tuned for that game, and we'll talk about Sixers later on in the show. The return of Gabe Kapler. So we're not going to really have a conversation with that, just what the Phillies can do in this series. So like I said, 7-2 at home. Listen, the same MO, no matter who the manager is they got to play better on the road, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've said it a million times. You got to be around a 500 road team if you want to be a playoff team. That's as simple as that in every sport. Every single sport there is, you got to at least play 500 on the road. Football, you might even have to play a little bit above 500, depending on the situation. But at least when you talk about the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball, when it's long seasons, you got to. And look at the Sixers this year. They are, and they're 5 games over 500, and they're first in the East. So when you figure out how to do that, that's the biggest concern for the Phillies. Will they figure that out? So we'll talk about that too. Phillies Cards recap. And that ties into the main conversation at hand and our poll question, which is brought to you by bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D for 20% off. That's bodycheckwellness.com. And use that promo code right down there. A2D, 20% off. Our poll question for tonight's show. It's time for Spencer Howard to be placed into the starting rotation. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Chime in tonight. We'll be reading them all off as well as soon as we get through our poll here. Yeah, that's absolutely it. This is like the easiest, which is fine. Like I'm all up for a kumbaya session on agree disagree, at least to start the show off with. And I'm going to read this out. Matt Moore. We just start Matt Moore. Kumbaya. All due respect, excuse my language. Fuck Spencer Howard for a second. I'm just going to tell you about Matt Moore. I'm just going to tell you, right, as a 10.64 earned run average in the 3 Philly starts. Bye. I don't even need to read the rest. The rest is irrelevant. That is not good enough. That's Japan numbers. Go back to Japan, have a 2-3 earned run average, pitch for another 5 years, and let everybody blow you over there because you have no right pitching in the big leagues, at least as a starter. You know, if you want to talk about a long reliever when a game's over, maybe, fine. There's plenty of guys who can do that. Plenty of guys that can do that. You don't need to be him. I can't have this. Right? This was a big concern before the season that we all talked about. Cannot have it. So I absolutely 110% agree. And if it's not Spencer Howard, then go get me Medina. Go get me somebody in the minors that can throw because I don't want to have the same issues I had with this bullpen with this 4 and 5 this year. I don't. There's arms down there that you covet and claim they're good. Then go bring them up because everybody else freaking does. We're in win now mode or make a big time trade and go out and get that pitcher. Right? Go out and get that guy, whoever that guy may be. All right? So I agree. Family out there, what do you guys say? Wills, Greg, what do you boys say?
I absolutely agree. How can you not agree? I don't want to reiterate on how bad Matt Moore is. I think Tom pretty much hit the nail on the head there, but we were saying it last week. I was saying it before the season started. Matt Moore fucking stinks. Everyone knows this. Everyone that knows anything about baseball knows that Matt Moore fucking stinks. I'm willing to give Chase Anderson some more starts. You know, I feel like he hasn't been bad enough yet to lose his job. But Matt Moore, I don't even need to see any more of him. I'm done. I don't even need to see any more of him at all. See you, Matt Moore. I'm ready for Spencer to start immediately.
Yeah, real quick.
Absolutely immediately.
Before you go, Greg, right? So, you know, I mean, this is good baseball 101, like we were talking about before we came on the show.
Oops.
Baseball 101. 11 innings pitched, 17 hits, right there. Hey, that's not going to get the job done. Right there.
Go to the next column. Go to the next column.
Let me add in the 9 walks because that's the difference maker. You're talking about
ding. That was to me the other night was my that was the straw that broke my back with those 4 or 5 starters, right? We all talked about it, and it's going to be tough. We talked about it going into the year, having both Matt Moore and Chase Anderson, right? If you have one of them, it's fine. But when you have both of them, it's a sticky situation, right? That's why I know at least me and Wilson, I know, Tom, you liked it, but that's why we're so big and interested in going out and getting like a Jake Odorizzi, right? Or somebody else towards the end of spring training and free agency is because we needed to extend one more spot, right? We didn't want to have to depend on Matt Moore and Chase Anderson. If we got to depend on one or the other, fine, right? That's a lot of what 5th starters are. But the other night, the 4 or 5 walks, just not being in counts, right? Not being competitive in counts. It's just you can't have that from your back end of your rotation. If you're gonna get hit around, right? If you're gonna lose games, lose games. We get it, but you can't walk guys. That's it.
Yeah, listen. If
Matt Moore straight stinks.
I mean, if guys are pounding the ball over the yard on you, fine. You know, I think everybody that's a baseball guy would say, okay, I'd rather watch that than watch you put guys on when that's never a recipe for success.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We'll talk about his control issues is why he's never lived up to the number 1 pick of the draft because his control issues have always been an issue. And then he claims he figured it out in Japan. Well, hey, Matt. Here to break the news to you, baby. I know it's a long season, but you didn't figure it out. You actually got worse. So
I know it's a long flight back from Japan, but whatever you found, you lost it in baggage claim.
You left it. If you didn't know, you left it.
Still got jet lag. I understand you still may have jet lag. But no, I mean, if it's not Spencer Howard, then obviously, like I brought up some other young guys that but it can spend, like Pop says, like what's the hold up, and can he do worse? I saw somebody else say that. No, it's a 10 run average. No,
how can he possibly be worse?
What was weird is he was just up this week, pitched one game, and now he's back down. Now, granted, that was, I think, the doubleheader allowed for that free move to come up. But if you're going to bring him up, then leave him up, right? And don't use him as this hybrid bullpen piece. Put him in the rotation where you want him. If you're worried about his innings, skip him every once in a while.
Thank you, Greg. Start him. You can't listen when the guy's a starter, when he's supposedly your best starting pitching prospect. You can't do this fucking bullshit you do where we'll bring him up and maybe he'll throw after a starter and no, just put him in and let him start. Fucking knock the bullshit off. Let him do what he's done his whole life. Fucking quit with the bullshit.
Find out who he is. I mean, I don't understand why that's so hard to do.
Seriously. I mean, at this point, he's 23, right? 23? Yeah. It's time. It's time to me. I understand he's still 23, but it's time.
Well, the same with Mickey too. Sorry, Will. It's the same with Mickey too. Like I want to see what Mickey is. Like I know. Listen, Salvatore, I don't disagree with you because I think he's a better solution than everything you have in center field in the Dubal Herrera. I'm not going to argue that. Okay, but what I will argue against it is that, dude, you have the former number 7 pick of the draft and Adam Hazley, and the former number 1 pick of the draft, Mickey Moniak. One of the two better be able to play. I mean, with all due respect to Dubal and like El Torito and everything else, like with all due respect, one of these guys got to be able to play. I mean, this is baseball 101 again that we're circling back to. If neither one can play, then it's a bigger issue. Okay, and I don't know who's left in the scouting department that's made these picks, right, with new regimes. But I assume enough people still have cushy jobs. Okay, so if either one of these
got parking spaces, I'm sure.
If neither one of these guys can play, I'm going to need you to do me a favor, Mr. Uncle Cigars. I'm going to need you to fire everybody. Not Dave and Sam Fold. They can stay. But everybody underneath of them, see ya. Because, listen, it's one thing to miss in the first round in the Major League Baseball draft. That's fine. That happens plenty because most of the time you find late gems, right? I get that. But when you're talking about top 10,
especially a high school kid. Like Moniak, I can almost forgive.
Not one overall, though. Not one overall.
Number 1, I hear you, but it's a high school kid. High school kids, they miss all the time. Hazley was a college guy.
Yeah.
Hazley's a college guy. After you already took the high school guy, you got to hit the college guy then.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you got to hit on one of the two.
One of the two. And I'm not saying that Moniak can't play yet. I'm not in that boat that Moniak can't play, but I'm ready to let him play. I'm tired of the Roman Quinn bullshit. I'm tired. Roman Quinn wants to pinch run every once in a while. Okay. Besides that, I don't want Roman Quinn starting.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Now that he's up, right? Now that Moniak's
he can't hit so at all. Like
for the foreseeable future, whatever's going on with Hazley, right? Right now it's Mickey Moniak. Roll him out there every day. You got two pros. You got 2 pros on either side of them, right? You got your highest paid player on your team in Bryce Harper, and you got an absolute stud pro in Andrew McCutchen. If those two can't get the best out of the kid, then the kid doesn't have it.
I was just going to say the same damn thing. I mean, like,
if
I can't put him next to Harper and hope that he can't find it or learn from it, then he just doesn't.
Something rubs off, little something,
or he just doesn't want it because, like, if you have a little 1-2, you would think you could. Figure some things out. Now, listen, I mean, 3 Ks today, I get it, but he's also really young in terms of, like, being a high school kid and being 22. But I want to run him out there every day because I want him to see if he's good enough to make the adjustments that is the big league level. And we always say it all the time. Where are you going to get better at? You're going to get better in the minors? Like, nobody gets better in the minors when you're young. I want you up with the best of the best because you're learning from the best. There's a reason these guys have big league jobs. There's a reason the hitting coach has a big league job and doesn't have a AAA fucking job. It's common sense. There's a reason the manager has a pro job, a big league job, and not a AAA job. These are all facts. These are all simple facts when you talk about Major League Baseball. So if I have young kids, I want them with my big club. If they even have a little bit of talent or I think they're in my future, or right now, in terms of like Moniak, Hazley, you want to find out because the only way you're going to find out. Look at Alec Baum, right? You bring up Alec, put him around pros. Put him around pros. So not all the time is it going to work. But you're
Great
going to
comment, Pop. Great comment.
And he's going through growing pains right now. You know, he's going through the adjustment that pitchers make on him right now, right? You know, and I've been hard on Moniak just because we need that pick to pan out so bad for this organization, right? Nothing against the kid, but I'm not in this situation right now where I'm dissecting his every game, right? I just want to see him go. Like today, right? 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. I don't care. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
he's got to go.
Yeah, don't sit him down. Don't put him down on a day rest. No.
Yeah.
Run him back out there. Let him try to get a hit, right? Gain some confidence, right? That's what you got to try to do because either way, it's a hole in center field.
Sure.
There's no other way to spin it, you know, unless Herrera for some reason comes up and takes it. But I don't want that to happen because I want Moniak to be able to play. But what's up, Doc? Dr. Paul Vidal, everybody. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill location. See, I don't say Princeton anymore. I've got that officially out of my head.
What's up, guys?
Like he does at least once a month.
Doc.
Want to agree, disagree. And first, I'm not even gonna ask any injuries early on because let's talk some Phillies. 7-2 at home, and our poll. We obviously already answered it, so we want to get your opinion on it. It's time for Spencer Howard to be placed into the starting rotation. Do you agree or disagree? And everybody would assume that'd be for Matt Moore. So, do you agree that you need to see him in the rotation and not the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, he's groomed. He's projected to be a starter, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You look at like how they did Kingery. You know, he was a second baseman, man. Like to me, like I know he's not with the team right now, but like a couple of years ago, it's like play him at second base. That's his place, man. Like Howard's if you want him to be a starter, you got to let him be in that position. I think.
Yeah, you want to be a starter, let him.
Yeah, let him start.
Let
him do what he's done his whole life.
Some things are too easy, right? And it's like I don't know. Some of these guys just can't get out of their own ways, and I think that's a lot of guys in Major League Baseball, right? They just can't get out of their own way. And for this one, it's like, okay, I know you want veteran arms, but you have Noah, you have Wheeler. They're 2 veteran arms per se, okay, right?
Yeah.
Eflin's a younger guy, right? But then you bring in like Wilson and Greg said, you bring in Matt Moore or Chase Anderson, have 1 veteran guy, and then you're allowed to go have a 23-year-old in your starting rotation. So that's the thing that just doesn't add up to me. But you're right. I mean, Kingery's another one. I think a lot of that's on him, but he wasn't obviously able to be a guy who you played here, played there, right? He was a guy that, probably maybe would have panned out better for him if he just played second base, and that maybe it hurt him, maybe it didn't. I think COVID affected his production last year. We heard about Freddie Freeman talk about what it did to him for about a month before he went on the MVP tear, and Kingery's nowhere at the level of Freddie Freeman. So I could see where maybe the struggle came from, but I think it's a combo, and hopefully, I mean, I know the minors they're allowed to get started May 4th is opening day. So unlike last year, these guys are going to be able to play.
Yeah, which is important. Get the reps in, So whether it's here or down in the minors, man, get the reps in, and hopefully it can continue to develop.
Yeah, so that's if not for. Like right now, people are like, well, bring Herrera up, but we haven't even seen him play since spring training. You know what I mean? Obviously,
to that point, he probably hasn't been.
No, they're probably playing inter squads.
They play those inter squad.
Yeah,
games.
inter squad. Yeah,
that's all they play.
But that's nothing. So, I mean, you don't even know if he's producing to be able to do it. Now, I know somebody asked if what's Howard doing in the minors? Well, he's up. He's coming out of the bullpen for some reason. So
no, they just sent him back down.
No, they sent him back down, but he did come out of the bullpen twice.
Right? 1 or 2 times.
When they send him back down,
like
just
before the weekend.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
For what?
They sent him back down to the whatever they call
the minor league camp to go through that
site or whatever. Yeah.
For what?
I don't know.
I don't know, Tom. I don't make the decisions.
It would make sense to me if minor league is going to actually resume playing and he's going to be a consistent starter and not in the majors. Well, then put him in the minors and let him start. That would make sense. I mean, the alternate trading site right now, they're not really doing anything. I mean, they're not playing actual games, are they?
No, they're getting ready to go start the minor league season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they've played.
They're not. They're playing inter squad scrimmages, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing. No games yet per se.
But that doesn't make sense to me. I understand what Doc's saying, and it does make sense that if you want him, if he's not going to be on the big league roster as a starter, I don't want him to come out of the bullpen. I'd rather have him start in the minors. Sure. I agree with that. But to me, I just rather have him start for the big team because Matt Moore stinks. We all know this. Matt Moore stinks. I'm done. Stop trotting him out. I know what he is, and I know he stinks. And if I know he stinks, Dave Dombrowski better know he stinks. Stop trotting him out. Get him out of the door. I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name right now, too, that maybe if you want to try to bring another veteran in, I don't know what's going on with his health, but Cole Hamels out there floating around.
Can't be worse than Matt Moore.
Can't be worse than Matt Moore.
And you know how I feel about bringing back guys like that because, if he gets hit all around the ballpark, it sort of
tarnishes the legacy. I get you.
A little bit, but I mean, it can't be worse than a 10 earned run average.
At this point, I take him. I'll take Cole.
9 walks in 11 innings and 17 hits in 11 innings. Ouch.
That's atrocious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe he should be going down and getting.
That's it's about like a 1.8 whip, I think.
Did you see the headline or one of the articles about Moore? It was like Phillies are getting less with more or something like that. It's just kind of a catchy headline.
Cheap. It's a cheap one too, right? It's like pennies on the dollar, and praying that the guy can like find, what made him a number 1 overall pick. And a lot of times guys there is guys who can go overseas and figure things out. He just isn't one of them. He claims he did, but like a 2.38 earned run average in Japan doesn't do anything for me if your control's not good.
Yeah,
you got to throw strikes. Listen, in this league, you got to throw strikes. You can't be walking people. As soon as you start walking people, especially with guys that are like Matt Moore, guys that have stuff like Matt Moore, guys don't have electric stuff, can't be walking people because guys are going to get hits off you.
And that's
as soon
where
as you start walking people, you're done.
Going back to today's game, that's where it was good to see Aaron have some bite and have some movement back to his pitches, right? It was good to see him make those adjustments in the bullpen and come out and be the guy that we all know he can and is.
Yeah, Greg, you know what's funny? And guys that I heard, probably you guys all heard this today, but he throws 4 different pitches 25% of the time. So there's like really nothing you can like
can't key on anything.
Yeah, you can't just lock in fastball with him and hunt fastball because you get a bunch of different pitches from him, and he throws them all consistently around the same percentage. So, Greg's right. When he can paint and he's painting and his stuff's moving, that's why he's an ace. I'm so over that conversation. It's gonna be the next question. Like Aaron Nola is a legitimate ace. Agree or disagree? Because this has been the whole topic from some of the nerds that want to tell me he's not an ace because he ain't throwing 98. The guy can flat out paint. All right. He look his earned run average and everything just this year alone. This year alone is ace worthy. And I know we're real early in the season, so people were like concerned about him this year, like up until today and even through today. But his numbers speak ace to me.
When he's good, Tommy, he's great. I feel like whenever he's good, like he was today, when he's locked in, he doesn't even look like he's exhausted, like he's using any effort. Like everything's effortless out there. It's like he didn't even break a sweat today. 109 pitches, no sweat broken. Like to me, that 109 pitches was so easy. He could have went another inning to me. And that's why I hate the pitch count thing. Everybody wants to be under 100 pitches. I don't care how many pitches. I care about stressful pitches, stressful innings. He had no stress today. We have 2 guys on base, no walks, 2 hits allowed. Heck, he had no stress. He could have thrown 130 pitches today. Like that's the kind of stuff I like to see out of him.
That was so good to see him throw a complete game, man. I mean, it was perfect, And like honestly, like who cares how hard he throws? If the guy can change speed, get locations, and like you said, low stress innings, that's probably it's not a comparison, but like look at Greg Maddux. Did he throw hard? No, man. Slower and slower.
None of those guys did.
Movement. It's like they always say. Uncle Sweeps always says you can throw 110 if it doesn't move. They're going to time it. Yeah. If the movement and if you paint, if you know your strike zone. And you can usually get a couple inches on either side, and you can paint your spots. Doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this isn't a bad lineup today by any stretch either.
No. Listen, St. Louis can hit the ball. We saw yesterday. St. Louis can hit the baseball.
So, I mean, listen, I agree that he's an ace. And I know people think, I don't care who people think is better, Wheeler or Nola. It doesn't matter to me. I want them both to be really good because that's the only way the Phillies are going to get to the postseason. It's just
we obviously see 4 and 5 aren't doing great. We're going to need both of them to be very good.
Well, you're going to need I mean, Nola and Eflin have been really good. Wheeler's been good. He hasn't been bad either. So, none of these guys have really been bad. They've both had, Nola and Wheeler both had one really bad outing. But that was it. I mean, you expect that's going to happen to every ace in baseball. Every 1-2 in baseball is going to have great outings. And now he's like, man, this guy, who's this?
Yeah, and against the Braves.
This much money.
Yep.
Braves can swing the bats a little bit too. So
yeah, not bad. Not a bad team.
They both had one really good start against the Braves too, and then they both had one bad start against the Braves. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Hopefully we got the little Braves out of our system for a little while here. I know we're about to go to. We got San Fran coming in, then we go to Colorado, I think, right?
And then back to St. Louis.
Let's warm the bats up here. Let's get some. We should be getting in some offensive mode here.
It's nice. It's nice to finally watch the Phillies face other people than the AL and NL East, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's great to see some other faces, playing against us finally again.
I totally agree, Greg.
What do you guys think? I mean, this is, to me, it's a bad baseball team. Everybody agrees that Nola's an ace. Nobody disagrees with that, right?
Nope. No, I think he's absolutely an ace. He's not the top tier echelon of aces. There's maybe an upper tier in the league of aces that are above him, but I would say he's an ace. Yes.
I agree. Somewhere 15-ish to 20.
Yeah, there might be 10 guys better than him.
Yeah, 10 to 15.
But
10 to 18.
Anywhere over that, he's right in there.
With the abilities of being top 10.
Sure.
Has the ability to. But that's putting together a full season. So Philly, same struggle as years past. 1-5 on the road to start. Obviously, that was obviously series in Atlanta, good baseball team. Series in New York, good baseball team. Both well documented. But this can't continue. And this weekend coming up is very important because it's a bad Rockies team.
Absolutely, Tom.
And I'm not begging you for a sweep. I'm not saying anything like that to anybody, but I need 2 or 3. Like, they can't go to Colorado because then it just shows me it's going to be a long season because they haven't figured out how to get it done on the road. And if you can't win on the road a little bit, then you're not winning this division or even at worst being a wild card. It's not happening. Not happening. And it can start against a bad team in Colorado, or maybe they can build some confidence up and say, oh, we can play on the road a little bit because 1-5 stretches on the road are killers. And as you saw, we were feeling real good, after our first 2 series of the season, and we went on the road and started feeling real bad. So
got humbled real quick.
And that was the same thing as last year, even though small sample size. And the year before, we were atrocious on the road. We can't play in Atlanta.
We've been for multiple years, yeah.
Can't play in Atlanta. Can't play in Flushings. I mean, where can this team play? So you better be able to play in Colorado.
Can't play in Miami. Haven't brought that one up yet.
No, I didn't want to.
Don't want to go there because we haven't gone there yet this year. But the recent history of Miami, not pretty. So yeah, I mean, listen, Tom, I'm right with you. This is a huge weekend coming up. First off, you got to win 2 or 3 here at home against San Fran. San Fran just lost 2 or 3 to Washington, I believe, right? Or no, to Miami. Sorry, I think they just lost 2 or 3 to Miami. You got to take 2 or 3 from them. You have to. They're coming here, cross country. Obviously, they're not coming cross country. They're coming from Miami, but they're cross country from where they're from. And I think you got to take 2 or 3. You have to, and then you go to Colorado, and you got to take 2 or 3. Like you said, just to show that we can win some games on the road.
Yeah.
Because they got to be 500 to win this division. They have to be 500, and even to be a wild card team, like they can't be like 10 games under. It's not good enough. Teams just don't do that unless you're that good at home, and they're not going 71-10 at home or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to go 71-10 at home. That's for sure.
So
if they go 71-10 at home, we're gonna have a good year.
Like I'm saying, you can't win 10 games on the road, which is like,
that's not going to get it done.
This might be like, I could very well see them being like, Phillies win 20 games on the road this year. They got to be good on the road, because if they are, they've already shown they can play good at home. So I think that's a recipe where they can steal this division. That's how they
for
can.
sure.
Yep.
Because we know the Braves are going to be all right. The Mets are a little bit unknownish as of right this second, but
they can throw it though. They can.
Absolutely can. And their bullpen looks, besides the game they sort of coughed up against us, looks better.
Yeah. I mean, Diaz was lights out the second half, or the second month of last year, I guess you could say. The first month he was pretty rough, but I mean, he was great in Seattle. If he's found it, that's not great, And Familia, Familia's got closer stuff in the setup role. So the Mets, it's all about how the Mets hit. For any Mets fans out there, obviously, I feel like the Mets are going to throw well. I like their rotation. I like it even more if Syndergaard gets healthy at any point, but who knows if that's going to happen. But I like their rotation and I like their bullpen. So it's all about the Mets hitting for them.
What do you guys think of, people always say, well, it's early and we got to give it till you hear reports like you got to give it till Memorial Day to get a true gauge. I don't know. It's kind of almost a quarter in the season, do you think you can get it a better sense earlier or do you need to play it out more? I mean, obviously right now it's pretty early, but we can probably get some sense a little bit.
I think by June you should know where your weaknesses are and where you have to make upgrades to make the playoffs. I think, especially, obviously for some teams that are really bad, they're going to be out of it pretty much by that point. But
all right.
If you're a team that's decently good and maybe slightly over 500 or right around 500, and you think you got a chance for the playoffs, which I think we have a chance to make the playoffs. I think by June you should know kind of where you need to go. And to me, I mean, I think we know already the 4 and 5 starting is going to be an issue for us, and center field is already a problem. So what's going to happen? And I'll let Moniak play there for the next 2 months. Every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe a day off every 10 games or something. But I'll let him play every day for the next 2 months. And if he's hitting over 220, all right, then maybe we'll stick it out with him. And if he's not, if he's hitting under 200, then maybe we got to figure something out.
True.
Yeah,
I think a month and a half. Oh, sorry, guy. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to kind of agree. There is a bit of it that is too early, right? Like Aaron Nola, right? And Zach Wheeler struggling a couple starts here and there. Is it too early to totally say that these guys stink and they're not going to be there this year? Yeah. But is it early enough to realize that we still have a black hole in center field and our 4 and 5 starters stink? No, that's not too early. But, yeah, I think as a whole and guys that can do it and have done it over the last few years, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, those guys having bad starts early in the year doesn't concern me too much. But the concerns that we had already coming into the year, 4th, 5th starter, parts of our bullpen, center field, that's never too early to confirm what we kind of already knew.
Right. I mean, so you can, because you can't win it in April or May, but you can lose it.
You could definitely lose it.
All right. So that's kind of all right. So do you, how long do you let that go for? Because, those couple of games where you lose and either get blown out or you lose by a couple of runs or you make the wrong decision. Come September, that makes a difference.
Absolutely, it's because it's the little things over 162 that are going to dictate it for you. If you're sitting at home, or if you're able to dance a little bit, just like last year. I mean, last year we didn't realize this in that Tampa series, but if we just had one win, we're in, and we couldn't do the little things right at all in that series to be able to do that. The only thing I'll say, I don't disagree with what you guys said at all because it's right for this baseball team specifically, though. You're talking I can find out in a month, a month time, and it's okay, I can find out if they're going to be a special group or if they're going to be the same old thing, because I think I can. I think I can, because if some of them things going to pop their head out early on, like the bullpen, like the 4th and 5th starters, like playing bad on the road, right? You can show me early on that you're a different baseball team, right? You can show me early on, right now, with them glaring things. You can show me that, okay, that's repaired, and that's repaired. They can show me that in a month of baseball. To at least say, this team has a real chance of playing in the postseason. Now, no, because you could play the next month, you could play like absolute crap, and then you're back out of it again. So baseball is just crazy like that. But I think with this team, you can maybe find out a little bit earlier than usual. But I agree with that. What, Memorial Day?
It's about usually.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Maybe like middle of May, maybe for this team, you can maybe find out a little bit earlier on who they are. But I guess the other elephant in the room when it comes to the Phillies is not only playing better on the road, but they can play great for 3 months. But in August and September, are they going to collapse again? Because that's been the thing that we've been, 1, 2, 3 years? Is it 3 years of August and to August, September?
Well, the last 2 full seasons for sure. I'm not going to count whatever the hell last year
bubble,
was.
per se.
Yeah. The last 2 seasons of actual baseball, we were playing well up until like June, July. And then obviously August and September were train wrecks. We completely dropped ourselves completely out of contention.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say like last year has to count, even though it was the bubble, because the trend was already there the 2 years prior. So that's why I count it. That's why I say, that's 3 years of it. 3 years of it. So that like, that's a scary thing with us. Like, we could be first at the All-Star game. We could be first in the East at the All-Star game and still have sweaty pops.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're going to get. And that's where hopefully is the difference from coconut oil and spitting out ice cream, spitting out Mr. Softy, the Joe Girardi. Hopefully that's the difference maker.
Gosh, if we don't win 2 out of 3, I can't imagine what the conversation is going to be like this week. Like, I don't even want to be a part of it.
I hope we sweep him right out of fucking town. I really do. I can't. God forbid they come out and drop like 10 runs on us tomorrow. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. Well, who's going? Well, Wheeler's throwing tomorrow, right?
No, Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh. So we did like a little flipperoo with.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like.
We'll go Anderson, Wheeler, Eflin.
I don't like it.
There's that 10 run spot that we're talking. So Anderson,
Bring Gabe back. He wouldn't have switched up the rotation.
Anderson, Wheeler, Eflin though it's not too bad. If we can steal tomorrow, who are they throwing? I know Cueto's hurt.
Give me a second.
I got it. Hold on. I did have it.
Aaron Sanchez threw yesterday, I think, for them.
Kevin Gausman.
Gausman?
Yeah.
Gausman stinks. We won't hit him probably.
No.
We're getting no hit tomorrow.
He throws like 96, but he stinks.
Yeah, it's Gausman, Anderson. It will be
Tyler Anderson, that is right?
Chase Anderson.
No.
Anderson.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you were giving me their pitchers.
Gausman, Webb, DeScafini.
Oh my God, we better come to play.
Yeah, who do they have in their lineup?
Will definitely play us. Their lineup. Who will? Well, he won't play tomorrow. Actually, he might not play all series because we don't have a lefty going. But Darren Ruffin getting a little time for him.
What?
Darren Ruffin getting a little time.
Who?
Ruff.
Darren Ruff.
Can I say it again? Who?
Who? Darren Ruff.
Still hanging around? Babe Ruth still
they still have Posey. They got Evan Longoria.
Went over to the KBO and found his swing.
I guess their best player probably is Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah. And Brandon Crawford still. So
yeah. Brandon Crawford's a very good defender. Yeah, he's not a great hitter.
No, but they're still top.
Listen, they're still battling. I think they have a winning record, right? Yeah, they'll battle you.
Yeah.
Brandon Belt's a guy that always like a thorn in your side. I feel like, he just got off the IL. I think so. He'll probably homer twice in the series.
Yeah,
they're 9-6. I mean, they're 9-6.
That's respectable. Yeah.
9-6. Just won today. 1-0.
9-6. I think they had a very favorable early schedule though.
Oh, here we go. Now we're definitely getting swept. You put that juju out. You put that out there. The dessert spitters are going to come flying in.
Seattle, you had the Padres. Well, they took 2 out of 3 for the Padres. They swept the Rockies, 2 out of 3 for the Reds, and then they lost 2 out of 3 for the Marlins.
Seattle and the Rockies. That's all we need to know.
That's what we talk about the Rockies too. We'll be like losers of 6 straight now since you didn't want to put that out.
There's no chance.
Yeah. So if your Skrensky's off to a slow start, Crumb, that means he might homer 3 times in the series.
He might homer 3 times tomorrow night.
He's primed.
He is probably their best player, though. Alex Dickerson's not bad. I mean, I don't know. They don't really have, Evan Longoria, obviously, but he's older now.
Yeah.
Buster Posey's older. Brandon Belt's older.
Still can swing it though. All them guys.
Yeah.
Even though they're older, still pros, and that's why I think that it doesn't matter who their manager is.
What up, Dan?
Danny, let's go. Put him on. He's better than you.
That's not true.
That's absolutely
Don't
true.
put things in his head.
No, but that culture's already been there for a lot of them guys. So I don't think his weirdness really matters to that group.
We always say how weird Gabe is.
Toned down at all.
I still think he's weird. I think he's a weirdo in general. So I'm sure he's definitely still weird. But when we were talking to when we were talking to Gals and what's the other name? Smeltz was saying how that's his guy. Smeltz worked with him when he was with the Dodgers, and he's like, listen, I know Gabe didn't go well here, but he's like, really, Gabe's really a good guy. Now I don't believe it, but I mean, hearing it from a guy that played for him, so I mean, I guess you could see where it's coming from that the guys like to play for him, but I don't know. I still think he's a weirdo.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's probably a very good guy. I just think that certain guys he's probably going to really rub wrong, but I think he was great in player development.
That's exactly it. He's in the right spot.
This is great for kids. I mean, pat on the ass, great job. Hey, let's get better every day. That works in the minors. That works. You know what I mean? The player development type of stuff, I think he's built for. As a former player, a worker, a guy who stayed in the big leagues for a long time, he can help with player development.
You're right. He's like a motivational speaker when he talks. So I hear you.
You pay $100 a person to go hear him talk about hey, spin out. Just eat the cone. You know what I mean?
I feel like every time I heard him talk, I was just thinking like Moffat. Moffat
says a bunch of big words. Costs a lot of money.
What did he say? What was that word?
Building blocks to greatness or some shit. There's a pyramid. There's a pyramid scheme somewhere going on.
but I just think it doesn't mean he can never figure it out as a manager. Guys grow, and I'm anti-Kapler, but I'm just saying guys grow. Guys figure things out the more they stay around it. So he could have learned from mistakes here that maybe he doesn't. I don't pay enough attention to the Giants over the last, in the bubble per se, and this year I don't pay enough attention to him. But I don't know if he's still doing the weird. I mean, this the odd decision making. I don't know if that's still part of it. If he's talking about barrel accuracy, I have no idea. I don't know if he's talking about curveball machines still. I don't know. So for his sake, I would hope that he would get away from the curveball machines and the weird things. Who says barrel accuracy? You barrel ball.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. He made that up.
Yeah. So I don't know. Listen, I got no ill will to the dude because this team wasn't ready to win anyway. So
yeah,
I have no ill will to the guy. I mean, best of luck there. Like I said, he's not a bad guy, just a weirdo. You can be a weirdo and be a good dude. Guys can like you, and then go home to their wife and be like, "Do you believe this guy? Freaking chewing. He ate ice chips the whole road trip. That's all he ate, ice chips." And he was doing push-ups. It's in the middle, right in the middle of the bus rides. What?
Up and down the aisle.
Yeah, guys just doing sit-ups and push-ups in the middle of the bus. Handing out great creams, great hand creams.
As a good friend of mine, Andrew No would say, he doesn't trust any manager that's in better shape than the players.
Did he say that about Gabe?
Yeah, he did.
Guy looks like he still play. Nope.
Yeah, nope.
No collapse. You guys let's talk a little Sixers. And obviously tie into some injury things for the doc. And the first thing before we even get into the Sixers is the Nets and Kevin Durant, which all ties into the Sixers, obviously. Kevin Durant now thigh contusion.
Oh,
day thing. I would think. But do you think that the question is, do you think like him being load managed and everything can lead to more of these types of injuries and even more, maybe another hamstring injury again? Just not playing every day?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole balance, right? The load management is like, but if you don't load your tissue, it doesn't maintain the capacity, right? They talk about two concepts. It's called loading and capacity. So if you load the tissue, your capacity builds over time. But if you load it too quick, the tissue breaks down. But if you don't load it at all, the tissue's weak. So there's like this balance between the two, right? So if you give a guy a lot of time off, whoever it is, their capacity, like an unintended consequence might actually decrease, which then could lead them to further injury. Yeah, that's I can see that happening. If they don't balance it right.
Yeah, and he's been out of the game for a minute too, essentially, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you missed the whole year.
Not right. I mean, he absolutely has.
Yeah. Now, something like a thigh contusion, I mean, that's just kind of a bang bang play. You get kneed in the thigh or something. I mean, it doesn't matter how good a shape you're in, that's going to put you out a little bit. But some of these other recurring, what we call strains and sprains, or like almost overuse type of injuries, may be due to lack of proper loading to build the capacity of the tissue.
It makes a lot of sense. And for them specifically, this is obviously the hamstring injury is always going to be a concern because it can just linger around on guys too. But then you have Harden sort of with the same issue with the hamstring. So I'm really curious, if these guys, how ready to go these guys are going to be, come playoff time, which is the amount of rest they've got and hamstring issues with both of them. I mean, I just can't see them both being 100% come playoff time. I just find it hard.
Yeah. And honestly, even if they're healthy, like they have an interesting chemistry, or I mean, not chemistry, because I don't even know if they have it yet, but like who takes the ball? Is it going to be Harden? Is it going to be Durant? I mean,
very, very well said there, Doc. Yeah. That's the biggest issue. If you're a Nets fan, is you haven't seen these guys in a pressure situation yet on the court together. Like, yeah. Are you comfortable going into the playoffs without having seen them in a pressure situation? Because they're going to be in plenty in the playoffs.
It's true. Like, they don't.
To me, that would scare me if I was.
They don't know who they want their closer to be yet.
Yeah.
So until you can, and it is what nobody listens to, like especially doing a million shows. I watch people not listen. The Miami Heat, when they created their little dynasty, or their little super team, okay? It took them half a season to figure out how to play with each other. And then they went on a roll. The first 25 games, I remember people saying, I don't know if this is gonna work. Right? A lot of people were like, I don't know. Seems a little bit, I don't think it's gonna work. One ball. And then once they figured it out, they were great. But this Nets team, which I think would have the capabilities of being great, hasn't played together. They played together 7 games. 7 sporadic 7.
Yeah. And I think too, the difference there too, like no matter who you are, it's going to take some time. But like if you look at Wade, Bosh, and LeBron, I mean, they kind of all liked each other to begin with. They kind of planned this, right? So, and it took them time. So I don't even know if Harden and Durant and Kyrie Irving are all on the same page to begin with. And is that, is it going to still take more time, even with giving them time to play? They still have to kind of they have to all kind of agree who's going to be the guy, and maybe Bosh, Wade, and James kind of figured that out.
By the way, Flyers lost in overtime.
Yeah, I was right with you on that, Craig, too. I think Tom saw me and you shaking our heads like we were disagreeing. No, that was the Flyers losing in overtime.
Oh no, disagreeing or not, I was in my head because I feel like my headset, I can hear clearly, and then I feel like I can't. Yeah, that's what I was shaking my head for. Not on you. You're clear. You're clear.
No, we're good.
Annoying to me. Everything. Nobody does their job.
I would love nothing more than the Nets to have this blow up in their face in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Doc missed this when we started the show, but I truly believe that they're gonna miss being the 1 seed in the East by 1 game. And I really believe the little dog and pony show they put on the other night when Durant's warming up, prior to the game, but he's not playing. I think if you want to give games up, in this league, be my guest, because I think karma will come and get them. And go ahead and see Milwaukee in the second round.
Did you hear the explanation Steve Nash gave?
Can't wait to hear it.
He just basically said, we're not trying to take games for granted. That Minnesota game was the game that got postponed, so it was pushed back. And he said there was a thought of sitting him against Minnesota, but they hadn't played a whole lot, which is kind of what we've all talked about. They didn't play a whole lot. We didn't want to sit there and take games for granted, so we went out and played that game because that's where we were. That's just the game it was, and then that just trickled down to obviously him missing the game against the Sixers.
Okay. That tells me.
It's a nonsense. That's a nonsense.
Oh, yeah, completely.
You think you can win. It feels like you're telling me you feel like you can win one of the games, but not the other one. So you're telling me, like, in your little brain that, like, hey, you know what, we can win Minnesota, but I don't know even with them if we're going to beat Philly, right?
I'll tell you what it was. You can spin it any way you want. It was they were afraid that we were going to beat them in Philly, and then the talks were going to start because everyone around the country is sitting back and blowing the Nets. Oh, the Nets are going to be in the finals. The Nets are going to be in the finals. Look at the Nets. If they would have came out and got beaten in Philly, all the talk would have started. That's why they didn't do it. He can spin it any way you want. That's the reason they didn't play.
Okay. And I think they also deep down believe that they're that much that this doesn't matter. Like, they believe that the regular season just doesn't matter. It's really in their heads, the way all three of them talk. It just doesn't matter. Well, with the postseason, we got to be ready for the postseason. Well, the way you get ready for the postseason is the regular season, is chemistry. This is why I'm so high on the Sixers team, and even more so when we get George Hill tomorrow night and gets his debut. We'll talk a little about him and what we expect from him and just his injury a little bit too. But this is an exciting basketball team. They're 20-5 with their starting five, something like that, something around that mark, which is extremely good. They have a lot of chemistry. They play really good defense as a unit. This entire squad is bought into playing really good defense. So I'm excited about this team, and I'm not going to run from it, but I also don't expect to be cutting nets down either. So I think people need to have that fairness in here where, come on, let's just expect to get to an Eastern Conference Final. That is our goal. I'm not saying I want to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, but let's just start somewhere. Like building blocks. We have not even got the one before. So to expect to just go win a finals, I think, is a little delusional. But anything's possible if Joel Embiid is healthy and is dominant. And Doc, we haven't obviously had to talk about a lot of injuries on this show because there hasn't been a lot. So knock on wood that continues. But the brace, and how much does that bother him? And obviously you're not inside it and seeing him daily to know how long he's going to wear it for. But do you think he wears that in a month and a half from now, come playoff time? Do you think he still has to wear that? And because I was trying to tell the guys on Wednesday night, especially Tori, that stop watching him grimace. The knee brace probably bothers his knee. It's probably not comfortable. Is that true? And do you think he's going to have to wear it the rest of his season, including postseason?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think right now, I guess it would make sense that he's wearing it. It just gives him some extra support, maybe even gives him a little confidence, maybe. I mean, I'm just thinking based on what patients tell me when they wear braces, but I'm hoping what they're doing in practice and outside of that is that they're trying to train his knee to not have to have the brace, right? Because it's almost like, it's like wearing a back brace or something. And, if you have that real tight, it's almost like you're doing the work for the muscles. So, you don't want those muscles to kind of decondition. It's like putting somebody on high flow oxygen. If you do that, then there's no really stimulus to breathe on your own because the oxygen is doing it for you. So in this case, if you really brace something, then you rely on the external support rather than the internal support the body should give. I think there's a time for that, especially when you're recovering from injury. But at some point, I would think there has to be a weaning process, and that they would try to have him go without. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless he tells him, "Hey, man, I feel great with it," but you're saying might feel comfortable with. I don't know, but I would like to think that the brace is gonna go away, especially if he feels like it's hindering him or getting in the way.
Yeah, did you see his faces he makes with it? And he's like always pulling it up. That's actually great. Like the weaning off. So like go from a big brace to like a smaller brace to like maybe just a sleeve. And then you feel and then you actually like still feel like you're being protected, but you're not. So yeah, maybe something he doesn't have to deal with because he's athletic. Period. I mean, you could put 45 braces on that guy and he's still a freak. But I just want that healthy Joel because. I think we can win. Now, what was Greg? You might know because I don't know the exact injury for George Hill and what's kept him out for so long. It was a hand injury, but I don't remember what it was exactly.
It was something to do with his thumb. I'm trying to pull it up here.
Like a ligament thing, or was it like a break? I don't remember what exactly it was, but.
Goes from right thumb. It just says right thumb injury. Let me see if I can find it somewhere.
Chris says at the end of the day, teams take on the identity of their best player, and KD is the most insecure player in the league. Their team reflects that. Listen, he's insecure. Both his running mates are insecure. I mean, it's an insecure party there. I mean, it's a bunch of insecurity. They all need therapists. They all need the couches, right? First and foremost. I mean, it's a definition of insecurity. James Harden's insecure because he can't win in the postseason. Kyrie Irving's insecure because he hasn't won nothing without LeBron. And KD's insecure because he has no reason to be insecure, really, because he's one of the best scorers I've ever seen. But for some reason he is. And he has been for a while.
To me, when we
mallet finger?
A what?
A mallet, as he was dealing with a mallet finger injury on his thumb.
Is that from using like a mallet? Like too much? Is it a mallet? What?
Let's go to the doc for this.
Let's go to the doc on this one.
When you, it's almost like when you it's when the digit hyperflexes, like it gets bent. What am I doing? I'm trying to use my camera. There we go. So the finger gets bent, what they call the extensor tendon that helps extend the finger, make it go straight. Where's my camera? Sorry, guys. The finger wants to go straight, but when you get a mallet finger, you get it gets bent like that. So usually that happens because the extensor tendon gets pulled off the bone. And you can get that if the ball hits you weird or if you jam into somebody. So, you have to kind of splint that finger and allow that thing to scar down. That's usually what they try to, I believe, is to splint you into extension. Okay. Because you lose that ability because without it, you get like that.
Yeah. Almost like football players that you see a lot of them, they're retired and all their hands are like this. They can't straighten them out. Just from so many different, I guess, contusions hitting that thumb. So it's almost like getting your thumb jammed, essentially, and it turned in that. That's crazy. Never knew it was called that. I feel like I've had that happen to me a million times. I mean, my hands are okay now. But.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how many times we probably all jammed our fingers playing basketball. Just growing up as kids. I mean, so that just swells around the the joint, here or here. But this is where the tendon actually kind of pulls off or loses its tensile force, and then you can't extend, and then so the opposing muscle actually pulls it into the flexor actually pulls it into flexion because the extensor can't do its job.
Now, is that something that is something you worry about happening again right away, or is that something when you feel like when the docs sort of feel like that's fully healed that you're sort of good to go and it'll be a freak thing again if it happened?
That's it. I mean, I think those are just injuries that will just happen. But you think about it. I mean, if he's a right-handed shooter, and your finger's like this, how are you supposed to let the ball go? So that's probably one of the issues there. If it's his right hand, but yeah, I mean, listen, he could be good to go, and the third play in, I mean, something freakish happens. You can get your finger caught in a jersey, things like that.
Zach Wheeler, can't zip his pants up. So we've seen it all here. We've seen it all. Greg, what hand was it? Was it his right? Because if it was
right hand,
yep, here we go. He won't make a 3 the whole postseason now. Well, we'll be talking about Malachite. Malachite. That's what we'll be talking about in the postseason.
That's
Where did George Hill go?
We got George Hill. Didn't
Then
realize
now
he
we
had
know why
didn't realize he had screwed up finger. Didn't make a shot the whole year for us.
Did we sign Jason Pierre-Paul?
I thought we did for a second. I was going to say it's a good signing.
Yeah.
That's a good signing. It's a good signing. JPP can get to the quarterback still.
Doc, speaking of football, the Eagles have recently just said that they're going to forego, workouts and whatnot, joining a bunch of other teams. Kind of have a feeling it's similar to the same answer with KD, but is the NFL and these teams and these athletes going down a slippery slope of not having like organized sport-specific activities versus just working out to stay in game shape and be ready to go for the seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys work out at a gym or like in group exercise classes. I know Tom is.
I do every once in a while.
But,
I got my iFit trainer over here. We're working out in Costa Rica if anybody cares.
but there's definitely something different, inherently different about, hey, just going out on your own, and doing the thing. And you can go through the motions compared to being in a group and the atmosphere that's going to push you and get you ready. It's definitely different. So, time will tell, but, I'm going to get a sense of why they want to do it. But I mean, if you go back to the example, like I told you about loading and building your capacity, and then you're expecting, don't they want to go to like 17 games now or something like that?
And go to 17 games.
Yeah. So you cut it.
They are going. They don't want to. They are.
Season? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2 exhibition games now, Doc, instead of 4.
Yeah, and they
but 17 regular season weeks, though, absolutely.
Right. So you're going to prolong the season, but cut down your. So, I mean, some people might say, well, hey, you're reducing the stress and let them just play out the whole season, and then they'll be better for the season. Because guys do get banged up in the training camps and then in preseason games, but I don't know. I mean, things can happen, but I guess time will tell. I mean, I'm not a fan of reducing training to, prolong the season. I don't know, man. I think at that level, these guys need to be ready to play.
Yeah.
Physically ready to play.
I'm in like that middle ground with it. Like, I don't, in today's day and age, I mean, so many guys work out on their own or work out with, personal trainers, etc. Right. So like, I mean, to me, I feel like guys should be able to keep up, but then it comes down to the want to. Like, so then it's really gonna separate the athlete. Like, who has the want to go to work every day? Because not all these guys do. Not all these guys do. And some of this structure that is created with this helps some younger guys, etc. So, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing for veteran football players that have made a lot of money and have the money for the best trainers around, right? But I do think it affects the middle player and the bottom tier player from maybe getting better. It affects reps. It affects team chemistry to a point. I mean, all that can still get done in June, right? But I'm okay. I'm okay with it to a point. But I know they still are doing their their virtual meetings and stuff like that. But this was talked about last year that affected some of the younger guys on not having that. So I don't know what they're thinking. Now, COVID reasons, fine. Like, if you think it's just unnecessary and it's stupid this early to get all these guys together, fine. Then don't do it. Let guys work out on their own. I can back that, fine. But in June, we can't start saying when everybody's supposed to get together that, oh, well, you know what? We don't even need this either, right? We'll just get ready. We'll see everybody in middle of July. Like, that's what it can become. The more things they take away. So that's my concern, especially for, guys coming in their second year right now. And then after the draft, guys coming into their rookie year, like, they need to get up to speed. And last year they lost that. A lot of guys lost that. So if you want to take this stuff away for a year and see where you are next year in terms of COVID-related reasons, fine, because that's where it all essentially started from. It started from a couple teams were like, it's not worth it, right? Because a couple were like hitting some positives supposedly. And then the players get involved and like, oh, yeah, So I don't know. I'm like in the middle ground. Like, I'm okay with it, but like, it definitely is going to affect younger players. It can't not. I don't even know what they do with these voluntary workouts either. Like, what do they really do? Like, can somebody tell me, enlighten me, besides work out? Like, what do they do? Run some rounds?
Team building exercises, probably. Some fucking nonsense. But you know what? Still, I want the guy that wants to be there, though. That's the guy I want on my team, though. I don't know. I'm with the doc on this. I feel like you're going down a slippery slope when you're asking everyone to just do it on your own. I feel like the group atmosphere is kind of a big thing.
What's the best thing? I mean, what we all try to do with any team we've either played for or coach or whatever is you try to build it up to fight for the guy next to you, right? And be a great teammate and all these things that we all talk about on here all the time. Well, you got to be around each other to do that.
Yeah. To me, it's just creating more. It's creating more of a look at me, more of a me thing. You know, when it should be a team, more of a team thing than a me thing.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I don't mean to cut you short, but I got to pick up my daughter from work. She does the Rita's water ice, man. They're closing shop. I got to pick her up.
Nice.
Working hard. Love
Rita's.
Love it. I'm going to come get a gelati now. Now you got me the gelati in my head.
God, now you got it in my head.
I love Mr. Joel. Good gelati. Great time for Mr. Soft.
What is it? What are we going here? If we're going gelati, what are we going?
Vanilla ice cream, chocolate chip, water ice. Boom.
I was probably going to go root beer, water ice, vanilla ice cream, but either way, I'm a fan.
Well, Doc, what are you getting tonight when you go pick up your daughter?
You got to have those concretes, man. They call those things concretes. These milkshake, cookies and cream. That's good stuff, man.
Cool. All right, everybody. Well,
that's
Dr. Paul Vidal. That's Dr. Paul Vidal. You can find him at specializedphysicaltherapy.com and Burlington Cherry Hill location. So go check it out. There's the website right below. And Doc, before you leave, anything you got going on? Anything you want to tell the family out there before you run?
We're actually had a pretty busy year so far. We had a very successful virtual 5K I told you guys about. We raised about $1,500 for community SJP, local charity that helps out families in need. So we're really proud about that, and we were glad we could help them out. And that's something we look forward to doing in the years to come to kind of continue to give back to the community. So for anybody who supported us on that, thank you very much. And the website's right there if you want to reach out to us, specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Thanks, Doc.
That's great. Thanks,
awesome.
Doc.
Thanks, Paul.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Everybody, that was the Doc, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill location. So go check him out. I know Brian Daly has, and has raved about it. So you can hear him give his read every Thursday on the Hockey Happy Hour. I do miss some Ritas. I know Tom Lucas lives nowhere near Ritas, so I'm sure you really miss a Ritas. Chris Sanchez says EDP update. ED 445 locked up. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. Couldn't happen to a bigger scumbag.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Oh,
yeah,
you didn't
hear? What are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about a sting. Underage girl.
EDP like that. The guy like that. Okay.
The Eagles fan. Air quote.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Guess
Arizona
what?
guy, right?
Yeah. Little sting. Supposedly 13-year-old girl.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's a pedo.
Supposedly.
He's an Epstein.
That's the reports.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly an Epstein. Okay.
When I look at the guy,
I'd say that's
not
probably
here to make judgment, but
probably not a great move.
Looks like a toucher. Looks handsy.
Looks handsy.
Fucking, you're never part of this fan base anyway, okay? You were never an Eagles fan. All right, no Eagles fan takes shits on their hat, burns their gear. You're a loser. All right, a loser.
He burned his Eagles gear?
Probably.
Anyone that burns their gear, get a clue. Burning gear.
Jen,
what a weirdo, though. 13-year-old girl. It's not. Wow, what a fucking weirdo. That's terrible.
Strange cat.
That's terrible. I mean, probably should kill him.
Oh, love for somebody to, love for a little slit knot, right? Slit knot, I see you down there.
Not me. I'm not going to kill him. In case anyone's watching and think he dies, all of a sudden I'm a suspect. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, like people that do that kind of shit, they should probably be killed.
Yeah, my days of putting hits out on people are over.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm too much of an adult now, Tom. Who has the time?
I've grown up. I've grown up with my Godfather days. You know what I mean?
That's what I say about anything. Anything anyone wants to do, like any sort of like you want to go do like any sort of like all the picketing and people doing all stuff. I'm like, who has time to do any of that stuff, man? Like, I'll write a bad comment about somebody on Facebook, maybe. That's about it. That's about it. I don't have the time to do anything else. I got no time. Who's got the time?
Nobody does. Even
though I'd love to sit the open back up so I can go out, get some sun. Actually, I had a pretty good day yesterday at Victor, wherever you call that, Victor's Pub, the Victor in Camden over there. Yeah, on the waterfront. It's a good time. It's a 40-year-old 40th birthday party. And it was nice. That place is nice.
Was it like outside, like no,
it was inside, but they had like a little a little area kind of.
Where's the deck? Is like up? Is it up high or like I forget? Like
no, it's like the ridge. It's like ground level, but it is like maybe 10 steps up, so it's like a little higher, but it's ground level.
Okay, yeah, I know which one it is. Okay, I was just making sure.
It's like literally right. You know, if Campbell's Field was still there, it's like right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah,
But Campbell's Field, it's so weird not seeing Campbell's Field there now. I was like, wow, it's really strange. But they've really built up that little area right there.
No, they have. They absolutely.
I mean, for like 4 blocks, it's really nice.
Yeah. I mean,
and then obviously it's a grab bag after that.
Yeah, well, they're allowed to do.
I took the scenic route home through Federal Street to Admiral Wilson Boulevard. It was nice.
Good old days, Wells. Good old days.
It was nice. Took the scenic route home. I was like, ooh. It was like
they are trying to rebuild that area.
Yeah, well, I went through maybe
not that area. I'm saying where the Victor is.
Oh yeah, really nice there. Really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Are the shops open? Like across the street?
Look like they were yesterday. A few of them at least.
And then I think they're supposed to do like condos on top of them.
There's definitely. I'm not sure if they're finished, Greg, but there's definitely a few of them already there.
Yeah.
It looks like all built up, like where the stadium was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks nice. Looks nice. Victor was nice. Food was good. Yinglings were flowing.
Yeah, Victor's a good spot. Victor's a good spot. Just not anywhere else really in the area.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a drive. You know, I had a couple cocktails, but I didn't want to overdo myself.
For sure.
But good times. Like I said, I took the scenic route home. Probably shouldn't have.
So it was tomorrow.
It was about 10:15. I was like, I maybe shouldn't be here.
Tomorrow night.
I was at a red light, like
looking around,
thinking I might have to run this.
So looking at tomorrow night Sixers game, that's actually an even line right now, which is sort of weird.
Where is it? Where is it?
Here.
Against
Golden State.
Oh, it's not even. Hold on.
Yeah, we got to be given a good amount, I would assume.
Oh, it's not even out yet.
Well,
are they playing right now?
Are they playing back to back?
Hopefully, if they're on the East Coast. They might be.
No,
they played Boston. Yesterday?
No, they're not playing tonight.
Okay,
they didn't play today.
But they played at Boston yesterday.
Curry hit that ridiculous 3. Did you see that?
Like I would say that
the left-handed 3.
I saw.
They could possibly stay in the game with us.
No, it's not out yet. The line's not out. Sorry.
Just because of how great Steph's been playing, like he's been lights out. So if he goes out and hits 8-9 threes, then they can stay in the game with us. But we should. The talent on our roster should overtake this Golden State team pretty easily tomorrow. I expect like around a 10-point victory. They have no one that can guard Embiid. I know Draymond thinks he's the greatest defender of all time, but they have no one that can guard Embiid on the team. And I feel like that the combination of probably Matisse and Ben are going to make it tough on Steph, at least. So I think Golden State's. I think that we have nothing to worry about, like the Sixers losing tomorrow.
They shouldn't, and I would listen. I would put some money on it. I would assume Joel. Granted, if he plays, which I don't see why he wouldn't, but as long as he plays, I expect his 4th straight game of 30+ tomorrow.
I don't think he's going to miss another game the rest of the year. Now, granted, I say that like I mean, load management type game. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, knock on wood that he actually gets hurt. I don't want that to happen. But I don't think they're going to sit him out any other games because I think he's trying to make a push for the MVP.
Yeah, and I think if he continues to drop 30 a night, like I said, right when he was coming back, and they win the East.
I mean, listen, he's – oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If we win first.
I mean, his numbers got to matter too.
Yeah.
No, you want his numbers.
No, but if we win first in the East, though, I mean, he's going to drop 30 a night. You know that. He's going to end up with 30 a night. So if we win first in the East and he's dropping 30 a night, I mean, he's going to be right there for it. I know there's going to be other arguments, but he's going to be right there.
Does
the time missed hurts him, but he's going to be right there.
I asked this sort of the other night, and I get your guys' thoughts on it a little bit.
Jokic might be right there, but they're going to finish like fit now with what's it called? Murray hurt. They might finish 5th or 6th, maybe even 7th in the West, and you can't win. I understand he hasn't missed a game, which is huge, but you can't win MVP finishing 7th in the West.
No,
especially when he finished first the year before.
No, winning matters.
You can't.
Winning absolutely matters.
Absolutely.
Especially when the other guy, as we all hope and expect, wins the Eastern Conference. Like it's the best. It's the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely. To me, like no one on Phoenix is good enough to be up there yet. I know Phoenix having a great year, and I know Utah's having a.
Oh, your audio cut out.
Yeah, fucking people are calling my phone. Come on, dude. What are we doing? What are we, children? Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah. So, like, to me, you know that Utah, they're kind of a mixed bag of a lot of guys playing really well this year. Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, obviously. Donovan Mitchell.
The All-Star Jordan Clarkson?
I like Jordan Clarkson. But I'm saying, like, a lot of the guys play well for them. They don't have, like, the one guy you would say is going to be MVP. And Phoenix, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, obviously. Ayton's really come on. But they don't have, like, the MVP. So, to me, it's coming down between, like, 4 guys probably. Obviously, LeBron's missed too much time. He's out. So, it's going to be Joel. It's going to be Jokic, however you say his fucking name. It's going to be probably Harden and Giannis. Yeah. It's going to be one of them 5.
Yeah, no, it definitely will. I think winning matters. So I think 4th or 5th in the West doesn't do it for me. And I know, LeBron's missed like 16 games. Joe's missed like 18. So they're like the same, almost.
Yeah, they're saying 3 more weeks for LeBron though. Yeah, so he's done.
Out of it. But no, I think he has a real good chance of winning it. I think if he continues to drop 30 a night and they're first in Eastern Conference, I think it's a done deal. I think you can fucking book it somewhere because he's the most dominant big man I've witnessed since. Oh my God. I mean, Timmy wasn't dominant like this. Like Timmy was great. There's a difference. Like Timmy was great, but he wasn't like dominant. Like that's kind of force. Like I say to him, he's like a combo of all the great big men I've watched and we've watched. Like he has the dominant capabilities of Shaq with his back to the basket, right? He has the footwork like Akeem. He has the mid-range game like Timmy Duncan, right? He has a long-range game almost of nobody. So you know what I mean? So nobody. He's a combination of all the greats. So it's just, can he stay healthy? And for the most part, besides the one scare, he's had a pretty healthy season, knock on wood. I mean, I think if anybody said he missed, if he would miss 18 to 20, we'd be like, okay, play 52 games. That's fine. You know what I mean? As long as he's dominant. As long as you're flat out dominant in them 52, I'll take it. If you're 30 a night, if you are 30 a night in a 52-game season, I'm okay. If you're like 31 a night and 12 boards, right? And 2 blocks, 2.5 blocks, 3 blocks a night, you take it. You'll take it. Now, I don't want that every year, right? But in an 82er, if you're playing 65, I'm okay with that. I don't have a big issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all said that throughout the years with Joe. Give us 90% of the games, right? So give me 70 to 75 in an 82. You know what I mean? Or even 65 to 75, somewhere in that range. And I think that's kind of where we're at right here now. Anyway.
Yeah, Chris, I don't disagree with you. The Doc doesn't care about Joel being the MVP, but he does care. He does care about what Joel wants. And
he probably wants it.
And you're not wrong, though. Like, the only thing I disagree with Wells is I could see him. I got to look at their entire schedule, but I could see 2 load management games mixed in where he misses 20 this year. Like, I could see it. And I don't think it necessarily is going to tarnish if he's dropping 30 a night and they're winning all the other games. I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't, because everybody does it. So I don't think the only guys who don't do it are Giannis and Joker. But neither one. You're talking about maybe a 3 seed and a 5 seed. I mean, come on, you don't deserve to win it. Your team's not good enough.
And both teams were 1 seeds last year.
Yeah, and if you're that good, if you're having an MVP caliber season, you should be able to factor in the 20 games the other guy missed and say, well, why aren't you in first place? That's what everybody's missing. Everybody out there that's doing the MVP voting is missing this. If you're voting for Joker, then
I think Jokic might win it. Hey, he's been
how many
amazing,
guys
they started so shitty that it's kind of amazing that they've got up. Now, if they can go up to 3rd, I think he probably definitely wins it. At 5th, though, that's the argument. You make a great argument. At 5th, maybe he has better numbers and he played every game. But at 5th, over the guy that's the 1 seed, I feel you got to go Embiid there then.
So the Sixers have.
And again, I don't care. I don't care. But I know that Joe probably wants to win it. So go. I feel like he deserves it.
Hold on, Greg. Before you read that off, the schedules. Well, the only thing I disagree about Joker is like, okay, if guys around you that have higher seeds than you have missed games, right? Kawhi Leonard, Paul George for load management, like all these guys have missed games. The Lakers had AD and LeBron out. Like if them teams finish higher than you, right? It's like, well, you didn't have an MVP-ish good enough season. Because I've watched guys, especially one here in Philadelphia, that carried a team on his back to first in the East, etc.
I'm sure the Denver fans would say that fucking Murray's missed a ton of time, and that they kind of were a different, like a new team. Like, so early in the year they really struggled. They had to replace Jeremy Grant early. What I'm saying? Like, that's probably what they would say.
I don't disagree
to try to argue you, but I mean, I hear you. You make a good point.
But look at Giannis then. Then we'll make the Giannis comparison, right? Because he's having a great year, right? But you come up 3rd with a roster that's been upgraded.
Mm-hmm. And you were 1st last year. Like, to me, you can't win the MVP then for Giannis.
No.
Like, you won it last year. You can't lose. You can't have the other guy pass you and then you still win it. No, it doesn't work.
And the other team in the mix is
I think Jokic is the one you can argue with. Or if the Nets pass us and Harden plays amazing down the stretch. But who knows? He's banged up now. So, but then maybe you can argue that. But if Embiid wins the East, if the Sixers win the East, and then you can't even argue Giannis to me. I'll only let you argue a Western Conference guy. I won't even let you argue Giannis because he's better than Giannis. He had a better year. It's right there on the paper in front of him.
The Nets miss guys that miss a ton of games, and they have a better record than Milwaukee. So you can't, just take the Sixers out of it. So you got 2 teams that have guys that miss games and they're better than you. So you can't win it. You're right. And Joker is in the conversation because his numbers are absurd, obviously. Yeah. So worst case, he's 2 in my book. He's nowhere further down there than me. It's a 2-man race right now to that, which again doesn't really matter to me. I know it matters to the player. The guy has dominated the league, and when you dominate on this kind of stature, I think you're right in the conversation. And if you carry your team the 1st in the East, and you look at the numbers when he plays from when he doesn't, I think everybody's answer is right there.
Yeah, I mean, if the MVP was truly voted on the most valuable player, it's hands down, right? But we know it's not what it always is, right? Because I hate him. But you can make a case that LeBron's the MVP every year then, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a reality. But that doesn't always happen. So that's why you're going to get these conversations. Because, Joker is having a great year. But now with Murray down, like you guys have said, how far do they fall? Because that's got to matter.
Yeah, thank you, JM. We'll read your Phillies thing in a minute. Greg.
I love Mitch Haniger. I'll say that, JM. Ooh, love Mitch Haniger. I don't know where he plays for us. Because he's another left fielder. He's not really a center fielder, but I mean, I do like Mitch Haniger though. Greg, he always has great at bats.
Thank you, JM.
Turns out great at bats.
Yeah, thank you, JM. Listen, I'm all 4 guys with great at bats. So Sign me up. I'll figure.
Obviously, he ain't winning nothing in Seattle. I'm sure Seattle will be fine with moving him. Seattle stinks.
Go ahead, Greg. And then
I was just gonna run through potential, back-to-backs, right? So the Sixers only have what looks like 3 back-to-backs coming up, and depending on what the race is, depends on if they really take those back-to-backs off, right?
What are they, though, Greg? What are they?
Yeah. So you got May 2nd and 3rd. You got at Spurs, at Bulls.
Maybe one of the two. Go ahead.
Maybe, right? May 7th and 8th, home versus Pelicans, home versus Pistons.
Maybe one of the two.
To me.
Go ahead. Give me the last one first.
On those ones, I would say Pistons. Sorry.
Hold on.
Then the last one, or the last 2 games of the year, unless we make up that game against the Magic, because there's still one to be determined. That's just time. So it's May 13th, May 14th, on the road versus the Heat, at home versus the Magic.
Oh, shit.
Well, depending on obviously what's going on with our record about the Magic game, but I would say the first 2 before that.
There's two to end the Magic. They're just not back to back. So the Heat, Magic are back to backs, and then we have a random game, another a day off in between against the Magic to end the year.
I would say that the Detroit one is a good chance he doesn't play, and the Bulls one's a good chance he doesn't play, especially if what's his name's not playing. I know, didn't he just get hurt for the
Zach
Bulls?
Levine.
Right? Levine?
Yeah.
COVID protocol.
Oh, he's in COVID.
Yeah.
So he will probably be back by then.
Yeah. That one I could see him playing in, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I could see him missing 3 of them. I could see him missing 2 of them. But listen, I think he's hands down the MVP in the league. Just
sure.
Put that on there. Even if he misses 2 more, the guy's been just flat out dominant. You can't run from him. If you actually turn the game on and watch it, you're like, oh shit! Like, how do you stop this guy?
Yeah.
And try everything they can to stop him, and they can't. And the bigger thing out of everything is he's calmed down with the double teams. He's learned how to slow the game down when he gets doubled. It's not a hot potato, right? He slows the game down now. Now, is he perfect with it? No, but he is way better in the 4th quarter in crunch time. This is why everybody asks me, who's the closer time when Jimmy left? The grown man sitting right here. When he grows and realizes it, right, then we're going to have this superstar. And the best thing for Joel Embiid, and he says it himself, these aren't my words, is having his son. And it's like accountability in the house. Like, he wants to be great. Like the 1-2. He was already special. But we always say that 1-2 is the defining factor. Like, if you have that 1-2, you can, and you already have the ability like he does. Oh, watch out. Watch out. Because this could be 5 years of this where there's straight dominance. Straight dominance. Like Ryan Howard before he got hurt. Like, it could be like that in baseball where it's just like one of the most feared guys you don't want to see. Like, you just don't want to see him. Right? And if this kind of year is almost like the Howard MVP year where it's just like, no, Howard didn't miss any games, but you understand, like, the pure dominance, the pure carry. And Charlie, you said about Ryan, like, dude, if he gets high, he can put this team right on his shoulders.
Yep. Right?
And the same thing with Joe. When he's going like he has, he carries them. Flat out carries them. They haven't been good enough. They're 7th in maybe 7th or 8th in the East without him. Okay? That's drastic. Maybe not even a playoff freaking team. Maybe they're playing in a playing game. So, wow. I mean, to me, anybody that thinks he's not just hasn't turned it on. And I watch a lot of Joker. So I don't ever take anything away from that dude because he's a fucking pimp too. But I don't praise for 5th. Okay, I don't praise for 5th. I don't care. Get off to a slow start. I don't care. I had a guy miss 18 games. So we want to get an excuse gate and everything else we can. Now, granted, both teams that got deep in the bubble, in terms of the two younger losing teams like Denver and Miami,
right,
both came out slow. Right, they both came out a little flat. And they both figured it out. I want to ask you guys another question, and then Johnny, I'll read this off. Thanks for the super chat, brother. One more thing, like at every one of them lower seeds, right, that we could see, there's 2 that I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not like, like I think we win the series, but there's two that I'm like, oh man, like depending what type of team you get. Like one is the Heat, and the only reason is because of having Bam, because you have a big man that can actually play. So he's not a Steph. So now is he going to shut Joe down? I doubt it. But can he make it? Can he make him work hard? Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He's a good defender. He's not as big as them, but can he make them work? Sure. And they had the 3-point shooters to go lights out in a series.
And they never miss against us.
And they never miss against us. The other team, even though we've owned them this year, is the Boston Celtics. And I'll tell you why. And they have nobody to stop Joel Embiid. That's done. Game over. Nobody to stop him, okay? I get that. I still think it'd be a really tough series because if them three are hot in terms of Kemba, Jalen, and Tatum, that's a dogfight.
Yeah.
For anybody. They're the 1.0 and the Nets are the 2.0 in terms of like guard play, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're like the lower class Nets in terms of like having like real good guard play. But listen, if they're hot, they can shoot them. They can shoot them into a series. So that's like a concerned series. I still think we win, but they're the two concerned second roundish series I think we could have. Outside of like coming in the 2-hole and facing Milwaukee.
I feel like I'm usually the skeptic here, and I'm not with you on this. Honestly, there's only two teams in the East that even remotely scare me, and it's the Nets and Milwaukee. Everyone else, I think, is an easy 6 at most 6-game series, probably mostly a 5 with almost every other team. I think Milwaukee is a team that we probably would beat, but it could go 7, and the Nets, it probably will go 7, and it's up in the air.
I think Boston's obvious.
That's why I think the 1 seed is paramount, so that we won't have to possibly face both of them. Then we just have to face whoever makes it out of the two.
I think Boston, obviously, to me, is like a 5 gamer, like raw reality, because they haven't showed any way to slow us down.
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, right. I don't think they have a chance to beat us. They have no chance.
I'm making the case for them to be tough in the postseason. Like I'm just making their case to be tougher than their record says they are right now. Right?
They're well coached. And there's players.
And there's an element of PTSD for the Celtics as well, right? With us, right? There's the element of PTSD of previous years of Brett Brown being out coached and us not having enough wing defenders to be able to defend them. I don't disagree. I would also, throw in a sneaky Toronto Raptors team, right? I think just because of what we've seen Nick Nurse do to Joel at times this year makes them again. I have no issues with us beating them in a series, but they could cause issues.
The Raptors always play us tough, so I hear you, Greg, but I don't think we won't even see them. They'll lose before you see them.
Quite possibly, yes. You're absolutely right.
No, listen, I'm just making cases that teams that can give you a run for your money.
They do play us well, Toronto. They're probably the team that does the best against Embiid, I would say. And you look at their roster and you wouldn't think that they would do the best against Embiid. But the way that they throw guys at him and they kind of confuse him a lot, I feel like Nurse does a good job there.
And we also got to remember that they did trade Norman Powell, so that's another big shooter that they lost. So again, I'm not saying they're not, we're not going to beat them, and it's not going to.
What's his name's been filling it up for them though?
Gary Trent.
Gary Trent.
Oh, Gary Trent. Yeah, he's pretty good. But yeah, they're another scary team, and I do hear you, Tom, especially about Boston, right? And I think. For me, more it's the PTSD effect, right, of past years.
No, for sure. I just think Miami gets tough because they got enough veterans, or they got great.
Miami shoots the ball, so they're always going to be tough.
Great coach, and they got the big man to be able to at least toe to toe it. Like, you know what I'm saying by that?
To annoy him, yeah.
Like, difference of him dropping 35 a series or 25 maybe. Yeah, I still think he gets his, right? I still think he gets his, but they make it a tough one. Like, I think they're a 6-gamer with the chance of being a 7-game series. I do. Now, if they're not shooting the ball well and our perimeter defense has been like it has this year, at times, then it could be a 5er. You know what I mean? It could be a 5-piece buy. So obviously it depends on how both teams are playing. But again, I'm not scared of nobody. I've said this numerous times. I ain't got no dog here barking. Yep. I'm not scared of anybody. I got the big dog in the house. And if he's healthy, I think we beat everybody. So, no, I'm not talking about the West.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, shoot.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on Ben's comments the other night? Because I actually really liked him about how he thinks that this is the year and they're primed to win a championship, all that stuff he was saying. I'm okay with it. Honestly, sometimes I don't like when guys say shit like that, but I want them to be confident. We've been saying for a while that they weren't ready to win, and I like the fact that they feel ready to win. I like that. So I like the comments. I want to see what you guys think.
I have zero issue with the confidence. I want you to have them goals and them expectations. I just want you to get over your hump for me and just get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I always want your goal. Like, I'm not playing, right? So your goal should be that. Absolutely. Right. My goal can be different than your goal because I understand the progressions, right? Doesn't mean your goal can't come to fruition. Doesn't mean that can't happen this year. I'm not saying it can't. Of course it can. But you have to have those goals. For me, as a guy, and like you guys who talk sports, I can have my goal of what I need to see this team get to. But for him, I love it. Listen, media-wise, he's had a lot of confidence. Okay? But I would love to see, and before Greg goes, I got no more time for the hot fucking potato, okay? Stop with the hot potato. The ball's not hot. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to kind of piggyback off you and both of you. You know, I like the comments. I like it coming from Ben, right? It's one thing for Joel to say, you're used to hearing Joel say that, right? If you go back, you know, as we did before, right, that run with the Phillies, you always heard Jimmy talking. But when you heard something come out of Ryan's mouth or you heard something coming out of Chase's mouth or Cole's mouth, you kind of perked up a little bit because you're like, all right, this isn't just Jimmy being the mouthpiece, right? This isn't just Jimmy being the confident guy that he was to lead that team, right? That's Joel here. This is Ben. And I'm hoping when you make a comment like that, you put a little bit of ownership on yourself, right? And you sit there and you say, we could get there because I know in my head that I have to raise my game in the playoffs to be better than I am right now.
Fair.
And I think if that's the way I kind of see that, right? Because again, Ben has said things and he's backed them up a little bit this year. Now you're going to say something like this. Well, Ben, I need you, right? We all need you. We need you to elevate your game, especially in the playoffs. And I hope that that's what this comment meant more than just the actual words itself.
It's a great point. Great point. Sweeps hotline. No bias. Joe is the MVP, hands down. Only reason he's not is the Philly hatred and because he misses a ton of games. But his resume is unmatched. And then says about the Raptors. Raptors always use their fouls against JoJo well.
Yeah.
And then John, thanks for the super chat, brother. He thinks I think Joel missed out on the regular season MVP, but wins the NBA Finals MVP, and we party with the championship. Yeah, party on Broad, baby.
We'll take that.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll settle for that.
Kayvon, you're not wrong. You can take a 7. I'm not here to say you can't.
I'm gonna say you can't. Sorry, Kayvon.
I
not a bad team though, and like you said, if your shooters get hot with Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, then anything can happen. But the chemistry and the way you guys were playing last year, it kind of looked like you guys had things moving in your momentum. I don't know that you guys have it right now. I understand you're playing better than you were earlier in the year, but I think that they'd be lucky to go 6 against the Sixers, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't think they're lucky to go 6.
I think they would be. I think it's a 5-game series.
I don't want to say you're wrong.
Love the confidence.
It's a different team. It's a different team than years past.
And I think they are still dealing with the bubble and the amount of basketball that they played last year. I don't think that point can be overstated enough.
I meant the Sixers are a different team.
But you're absolutely right too. Yes.
But I mean, you're right about Miami. Listen, young guys never played that much. It was definitely hurt them early on for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does.
They're dangerous though. But what are they sitting right now? Are they 7? 6?
Who? Miami, right?
I don't know. They've been moving up.
Miami.
Where are they at? Yeah, where are they currently? You know.
I got you. They are
Moving on up. They are the 7th seed right now.
7. Yeah, so they have to play in the play-in at the moment.
They're a game and a half outside of the 6th-seeded Knicks.
So if you're a Miami fan, you want to get to that 6th seed. You don't want to play in that play-in. There's no chance anybody that's playing in the play-in is going to have a good series after that. It's like, hey, here's your play-in to get your ass kicked by the 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah, I think there's always a chance that a team can get hot after that, but I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, I always think there's a chance like a team gets like, oh, I got a bunch of confidence, they go win a first-round series.
I think they got to gear up for that little 3-game series, though, which would, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty tightly contested, 7 through 10 there. Who's the 10 spot? Like Orlando? I would think.
Charlotte's 8, Indy's 9, Toronto's 10.
Yeah, so Toronto,
I'm sorry. Toronto, Chicago, and Washington are all tied for the 10 spot.
I would assume Toronto's going to win that, but who knows? Like, to me, Toronto might beat Miami.
Could. I mean, that's the point with everything after 3 is a toss-up.
It is. I agree.
Everything after 3. Like, you know what I mean? And even
I wouldn't be shocked if any of those teams beat each other. Any of them.
Listen, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody upsets one of them teams, upset Milwaukee in the first round. I wouldn't be shocked if one of them teams upsets the Nets in the first round if they only got two of the 3 guys. I wouldn't be shocked by any of it. Any of it, because you got good basketball teams down there that are well coached, that either started off really slow, etc. That if they get hot, they're dangerous teams. There's some dangerous teams down there. No teams that I really are cutting nets down. I'm just talking about first, possibly second round dangerous teams. Not that you shouldn't be, that just could give you a dogfight. And Miami is an aggressive team, and they got a freaking pit bull down there.
Yeah.
So, I think that puts them in every series they play in. Every series they play in. They're well coached. They got dogs in the house. They got a big-time dog in the house. He calls out his whole team for being soft, calls out Bam, and then Bam hits a game winner today. You know what I mean? So, obviously, the accountability works in Miami, even though I'm fine with Jimmy Butler moving on. You know what I mean? But they're a good team. They're a good team. They're tough. But I had them as a down team this year, at least in the regular season to begin with, and they're right where I thought they were. But I still think that, they're not a team you can overlook.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, give me Atlanta, and I say we fucking roll you. Okay, roll you. Good night. I don't know how you're even a fucking 4 seed. Give me the Knicks. I think we play 4 tough games, and we beat you all 4. Okay? That's how I feel about those teams, honestly. Honestly, I think they're 4 or 5 game series max. When you talk about Boston, maybe Toronto and Miami, I think you could be Sixers. They could be Sixers. They could also be sweeps. So I don't know who the fuck we are in the playoffs either.
I think we're going to be fine. I tell you what. Now, what are your thoughts on that? I know we're looking way forward here. I don't want to really do this, but
Marky, real quick. Marky had a comment before about Ben. Marky had a good comment talking about his injury last year, and maybe again using that comment as being kind of motivation. I definitely think that plays a part of it.
We definitely need Ben and Joe to be healthy for the postseason. That's for damn sure.
Greg, like you said, we've heard Joe talk about that loss to Toronto and what it meant to him.
Yeah,
and how it hurt him. And I don't even count last year's bubble, I guess, like a playoff. Right. But this is their comeback tour with that. This is their chance to make it right. This is why I just will continue to say if they're the 1 seed. And everything comes through Philly, it's going to be tough for them not to be in the NBA Finals.
Sure. I don't disagree.
Because that bounce that's still bouncing
doesn't happen in Philly.
That doesn't go into Wells Fargo with even 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to see Harden shit on himself in the playoffs again. To me, if we play them, you put Ben on KD. And you hope that Joel will bother Kyrie when he's driving, and hope maybe Matisse can bother him enough up top, and then you just let you say, okay, James, go be the playoff guy you've always been. Take bad shots like we know you're going to do. Please Please and thank you.
Oh, in crunch time, I got Ben on KD. I probably have Danny on Harden, and I put Matisse on Harden probably, and I put Danny on Kyrie.
On Kyrie?
Yeah, like that's what I do in crunch time.
I want Harden to shoot.
Oh, he ain't shooting with that man on him.
Well, I'm saying, like, I personally, I want to play defense against them so that Harden's the one shooting. That's how I want to play defense against them.
Yeah, it just won't match up because the problem is you're good. The problem is, like, if you have Matisse out there late in games defensively, you almost have to put him on Harden because I don't know. I mean, I guess you can put him on Kyrie. I just think Kyrie's too fast for him.
Yeah, well, that's why Joel's going to be protecting the rim, you would hope, because I understand that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And Danny's just so aggressive that I think he creates some issues. And lengthy, they can create some issues on Kyrie too. And then Matisse length, I think, can create issues on Harden. And I already know what Ben's length can do to KD. I still think he gets 25 a night, but I know what the length can do. Maybe he shoots 8 for 17, right? You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
absolutely.
That's what you hope for.
That's obviously you go Ben. To me, you got to go Ben KD. You got to make it tough on KD. And again, I want Harden shooting as much as possible. So that means less shots for KD, more shots for Harden. I'm all for it. Come up small in the playoffs again, James, like we know you will.
Well, that's the biggest thing, Ricky. We can hope to contain all them guys. They can't hope to contain Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Okay? They can't hope to contain it.
Because James Harden stinks at shooting. That's why I want him shooting over. His shooting percentages stink, guys. He's good at getting the foul line. All right, he's a volume shooter. Kyrie's a much better shooter than James Harden, in my opinion. I don't want Kyrie shooting, especially with the game online. I think Kyrie's shown that he's hit big shots in the playoffs. James Harden's never hit a big shot in his fucking life.
No, KD's hit big shots in the playoffs.
Another guy's hit big shots, KD.
Yep.
Kyrie's hit big shots, obviously, in the NBA fucking finals. So I 120 million% agree with you that if one of them three I want shooting late in games, it's him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one I want shooting.
I don't love him shooting, but I'd rather.
But that's the one I want shooting out of the three. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a shot at the guy either. It's a great scorer. It's just out of all three, if I'm picking my poison, I'm picking that poison.
Historically, guy that's struggled in the playoffs. You hope that little stigma stays with him.
There isn't a team in basketball that can defend the perimeter like we can.
I feel like there's actually, like, to me, we're probably the best. And now, granted, the Lakers, if fully healthy, are a big challenge. Probably would beat the Nets strictly because they don't have the size to contain LeBron and AD down low. Yeah. But no one can guard the Nets like we can. We're the only team that can guard them. Like, every other team in the league really, really will struggle to guard them. We probably can guard them the best of every team in the league, I would say. Just by looking at rosters. We have to. I think
every team that we're talking about.
Utah would give them some issues, but Utah has no one that can guard KD. Because you figure Gobert can't guard him. He's going to be down low. Yeah, I guess you put Royce. Is his name Royce O'Neal?
Royce O'Neal.
He's a pretty damn good defender, but he can't guard KD.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to forget about this if I don't say it. I said that like Boston was like the 1.0 and the Nets were like that 2.0 in terms of like the three like really damn good guards or great guards per se, right? You see our success on the perimeter against Boston. You've witnessed it this year. You've witnessed it. So that proof's there that we can flat out shut you down on the perimeter and make your life really tough. Not saying you don't get your numbers in the 20s, but it means your field goal percentage is down. And that's the team I look at when I say, okay, what do I got to do to beat the Nets? And I look at what my success has been against Boston this year, and I compare it and say, okay, granted, these are three better players. I get it. But you can show the ability to slow it down a little bit, right, guys? And that's sort of what I take from what I've watched this year in terms of trying to beat them. Now, I'll continue to say it. I got to get there before I can even talk about them. I truly do. Like they're not in my crosshair. That's why I bring up the other teams. Even Milwaukee, I'll bring up. I think we beat Milwaukee. I don't think it goes 7. That's just me, right? That's just the way I look at it. Like now, but they are a team that I think can give us trouble too because of their size as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Milwaukee can give us trouble, and especially if Giroux plays well. I feel like that's like the big key for them.
Claude?
Is how well Giroux plays.
Claude?
No, not Claude.
Like you said, Giroux.
It did.
I mean, I did, but I mean, yeah. Drew Holiday.
No, you're right. He's the X factor for that team right now.
Because I feel like what's his name's had a much. Oh, that ball's golfed and gone.
Young Jock hits a triple.
Top
They're
of the wall.
They're getting spanked.
Yeah. What's it called? Some guy named Heredia for Atlanta that I've never heard of before has hit 2 fucking missiles.
Yeah, the grand slam, one of them.
Yeah, and the first one was a missile too. The grand slam, he reached out and got it. I didn't even think he got it. It was impressive.
No, it looked like he got
like he got off the end of the bat. Then they like kind of hit it awkwardly. Like it looked like Baez got that way more than the other guy. Than the guy that hit the grand slam got it.
I feel like he got under it almost and almost popped it up into the jet stream and it just carried.
Yeah, it just carried. That happens there.
That looks like a lot of barrel.
Yeah, like he hit that much better than the grand slam.
Listen, I think any way you slice it, guys, everybody talking out there, like Kyrie.
Atlanta can fucking hit, by the way. Like that's why I didn't want to get. We were talking about earlier about Nola and Wheeler, and we were being pretty critical of some of their early starts. It's like they threw 2 of their 3 starts against Atlanta, and Atlanta can fucking swing the bat, man.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't no running from that. Guys, I think any way you look at it, somebody on their team is going to give you a problem, and I'm never going to
100%.
Like, I'm not going to tell you Kyrie won't give you a problem. I mean, I think they all give you problems. I just know, that we give you problems too. And we'll see if we get there and we play them.
It's all about making it hard. Just making it hard on them.
But the way you get there and maybe not even play them is if they got to see Milwaukee in the second round. Because I seriously think that goes 7 because Milwaukee also has the length to defend them.
They also have no one that can guard Giannis, just as they have no one that can guard Joel. I know Nate Claxton or whoever the fuck his name is. Claxton's like a nice. He's young and athletic, and guys like him. He is nowhere near ready to guard Giannis or Joel. And DeAndre Jordan is a shell of his former self.
Completely agree. I mean, yeah, and
nice pop up, Jay. Hey,
yeah, he's getting to the rim whenever he wants to.
Yeah,
in that series. So that's a 40.
DeAndre Jordan would be fouled out within 15 minutes every game if against Milwaukee. Because Giannis just go right into him.
And he has the running mates to be able to score with them. They play good enough defense to give them a dogfight. They do all they do. So, I mean, to me, that's why for the number 1 seed so important.
KD's the biggest factor in that series against them because you figure Drew's going to make it hard on either Harden or Kyrie.
Or get Middleton.
And you think Middleton is probably going to have to guard KD, right? So is KD going to or is Giannis going to take on that's a tough guard for Giannis. I don't know. I would think Middleton would probably guard KD. I don't know. It's weird to see what Milwaukee would do there. Now, he doesn't start as much for them, but it would be who plays great defense is Pat Connaughton. Be curious to see if they would think about putting Pat Connaughton in. And I like Dante DiVincenzo's had a very good year. Milwaukee's a good team. Milwaukee's a good team. No running away from Milwaukee being a good team.
Yeah, Pop says that having 3 guys on the same team that can create for themselves will give anyone problems, and they will.
Absolutely,
they will. Now the difference is that it is the difference. There's the elephant in the room again tonight. Are they willing, and do they have the want to play enough defense? It's somebody else.
And are they ready to? And the fact that they haven't played together that much. I don't care what anyone tells me. You can't just flip a switch on. I know that they're all great players. You can't just flip a switch on and be ready. Like the whole having not been in any tough situations together yet is going to come back to bite them in the playoffs. Because who's taking the big shots? Who are you leaning on here in a big situation? Like, guess what? All 3 of them probably want to take it. So that's something that you got to hash out. And the fact they haven't been hashing it out is a big deal to me.
Well, what happened?
They might lose a game because of it, and that could end up losing your season.
Yeah, well, listen to this. I mean, who else is hitting big shots? I mean, Joe Harris got to hit big shots. Like, it can't just be all them 3, right? And then you're not playing good enough defense. Like, somebody else has to step up for you and win you games too.
And remember back to when KD did this in Golden State, who took the proverbial back seat was Steph, right? Steph kind of said, all right, KD, you're here. It's your ball. You go. Will's, to your point, and we've all said it today, who does that? All these guys, they all want the ball. Who's going to take that proverbial back seat in crunch times?
Because one of them's going to have to.
Someone's going to have to.
Chris Bosh did in Miami.
Yep.
Like Klay Thompson did in Golden State. Who's taking the proverbial back seat? Because someone.
And that's what you can't figure that out over 7 games.
I'll tell you.
Agree. I totally agree, Greg.
I tell you who's not.
James Harden ain't.
No.
Kyrie Irving ain't.
Yeah.
So who is? Because are you making KD do it?
It ain't KD.
Are you making KD do it?
I'll tell you who is. From what it looks like it's going to be Harden.
It's going to be Harden, yeah.
That's more of a facilitator. So he'll take a little bit more of that.
That's why you got to make him shoot, Tommy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because he's so afraid of all the shots he's missed in playoffs past. He's going to want to be the guy that gets the ball out of his hands. That's why you got to make him shoot.
Listen, the other two can roll you up and spit you out. So ain't no questioning that. And I'll never question that come postseason time. Durant, Kyrie can go off on you and win your series. So that's always going to be an issue. I agree with you. Harden's that other guy. And if we face him, or whoever faces him, are you good enough to get to the rim? Are you good enough to be tougher than them? Are you good enough to go to the line more than them? That's how you beat them. You got to be tougher than them. You can't turn the ball over, right? And you got to get to the bucket, right? Play that game with them. I always
got to hit open shots.
I always wanted to see a team in the postseason with the Warriors, right? Get to the line, get to the rim. Say, you know what? You shoot 1,000,000 threes, and I'm gonna beat you up inside and get to the bucket, right? Yep. That's how you're gonna beat a team that's gonna shoot a ton of threes. That's how you're gonna do it. And this is the bad. Us and Milwaukee are the two teams that say, okay, you want to get to the bucket? We'll get to the bucket. We'll get high percentage shots, right? We'll settle for my big man shooting 55%. Can KD shoot 50% plus in the whole series with a Ben Simmons on him? Or a Chris Middleton on him? I don't know. I mean,
it's tough.
Can Kyrie go off for 40 a night? Sure. 40 a night ain't going to win you games if Joel's hitting him, matching him with 40. And are you willing? Listen, you know what it comes down to. Half-court offense it becomes, okay? Half-court offense. Well, if we run it through Joel Embiid, it's going to create a lot of open looks for a lot of veteran guys who can shoot the three. So that bodes well for us.
That's 100%, Tom. That's the biggest key. I think that everyone's talking about people sagging off Ben. If Ben's aggressive, just be aggressive, we're going to have open looks, especially because everyone's going to be packing in and trying to stop Joel. We're going to have open looks, and that means Tobias. That means Shake. That means maybe some Corky. That definitely means Danny Green, and that definitely means Seth Curry
and George Hill.
You're going to have open looks. You're going to need to make them. You're going to have to make them.
Jake Milton, George Hill, right? I mean, them guys are going to have open looks.
Everyone forgets when they talk about the Bulls dynasty teams, and the Bulls were amazing. The Bulls played great defense. Scotty and Michael were incredible, right? But everyone forgets. Guess what? Guess what those teams also did? You kicked it out to Steve Kerr. You kicked it out to Jeb Bushler. Kicked it out to A&M guys that were shooters on the team. Paxson. They buried shots. A lot of big shots too. A lot of big shots. That's your job. Like you're looking at Seth Curry, you're looking at Danny Green. Your job is to play good enough defense, and when you get an open look, you need to make it.
Yeah,
especially in the playoffs.
This roster really, with the addition of George Hill and his 3-point capabilities too, and Shake Milton may be more off guard with a second unit, where as a spot up shooter, he's better.
I think he'll be shooting the ball a lot more. Yep.
Yeah, I think. And then when you talk about the guys you already mentioned, Corky's important to this playoff roster. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I totally agree. He's going to get minutes.
You're going to get minutes, and if he's shooting and making them, it's huge for us. And then, obviously, Danny and Seth. Danny's proven he's going to hit big shots in the playoffs. Can Seth hit open looks? And if he does, this is a wrap. This is a wrap. You can wrap it in bow tie right fucking now, because big men win championships, and I said it the night on fucking draft day, and I'm going to stand by it. You draft big men, and dominant big men hoist goddamn trophies if you're not Patrick Ewing. So let's go.
If you gave him a better guard besides John Starks, he would have. If I'll tell you what, I love everyone that's been following us for years. I love nothing more than giving Tommy shit. Okay, but one thing that Tommy told me maybe 20 years ago that still resonates with me all the time is big men win championships, two guards sign shoe deals. Okay, and that's the bottom line. All right.
Stone Cold said so.
Unless you're unless you're Jordan, right? There's the guys. Even when I talk about LeBron, he's 6'9". I mean, I always want to call him a big man.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's kind of big to me. I consider him kind of big.
You're going to get your generational that don't need the big man and can win it,
but
right?
They still do though.
But,
even Jordan without Scotty, he was losing in the playoffs constantly.
Yeah.
You gotta have the guy. You gotta have the guy with you.
You always have a running mate, but the guys that have I don't. Yeah, I mean, listen,
it's tough though. No, you're right. Like
guys who have big men
to win without a big man, it's extremely tough.
Like Kobe had Shaq and Gasol and Bynum when Bynum was good.
Really, the only team that really won without a true, a legit big man is the Golden State teams.
Yeah,
they just had the greatest shooters of all time,
and they had two big men that played defense with Andrew Bogut and the other guy they had too for a little while.
I know,
and another one too, though. What's the other guy?
Zaza Pachulia.
Pachulia. Yeah. All them guys are just straight defensive bigs. And that's all you needed with them because they scored enough. They didn't need the big. And it's the same thing with, I guess you could say, because Lambeer was a pretty damn good player. But like the Bulls, you could say the Bulls, but Wennington and Purdue were good defensive players.
No, they were. But even like LeBron had Bosh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and yes, the Warriors thing set this whole thing in motion where you can just have a bunch of guards and just outshoot everybody and you don't need a big man. Now they went and
they also shoot better than any team ever, and they also got beat when they had the best record and went and got Durant, who I would consider a big man. So
and Marky's right. No team is winning without a top 10 defense, maybe top 5. The thing about the Warriors, that's the elephant in the whole room, is you can copy them shooting, but can you copy their defense? And that's what teams can never do because you had 3 legit defenders out there at all times. Clay, Draymond, and all the big men that we've named could play defense and protect the rim. So
and KD did too.
Oh yeah,
KD shut up.
KD plays good D.
And Iggy. Iggy won an MVP playing defense.
And Iggy plays good D. And Klay Thompson plays maybe the best wing D in the league.
Right there. Chris, he was their big man, Chris.
He was their big.
He's 7'2". He was.
Turk's team didn't have big. And guess what? They did. They had Tyson Chandler when they won the title, by the way. Tyson Chandler was on that Dallas team when they won the title.
Oh, he was. Yes, he was.
100%
was.
I did
not hear that. Who said that on FS1? That they'd rather have Ben than Kyrie. I mean, I'll take Ben over Kyrie.
I would take Ben over Kyrie as well, just because I hate Kyrie. But Kyrie's a damn good player. I'm not gonna run from that. I just don't like the guy. I think he's a fucking flake, and I think him deciding not to play half the season for personal issues is gonna come back and bite them in the ass. I can't wait for the Nets to fucking lose in the playoffs. You understand? If the Nets don't lose in the playoffs and they beat the Sixers, I'm just gonna stop doing shows. So anyone that doesn't like my commentary, you're probably better off because I can't take it. I'm not gonna be able to take the fucking Nets blowjob love. I hate that team with the passion of 1,000 suns. I fucking hate them. I hate them. I can't wait for them to lose in the playoffs. I can't wait for it. I'm yearning for it.
We got a yearning out of him tonight.
Yeah. The big Y.
Big Y. And absolutely pop. Tyson Chandler played defense and rebounded. Always has. Probably still could.
The comment at night, though, is Chris Glover. No, I love you, Chris. But that's a comment at night. Dirk Madsen didn't have a true big. It was him.
And Tyson Chandler. 2. They had 2. 2? We're going to go 2.
Okay, Nick Wright. All right, Nicky.
What's he say?
I hate agreeing with Nick Wright.
Utah. Give me 2.
Utah. Give me 2.
Yeah, and I'm not a big Nick Wright guy, but wish you would have left that out, Brodo.
Yeah,
Keep that shit to yourself next time.
Totally took away what we
all the momentum that you had going with your first comment ruined.
Yep.
Destroyed.
Like, man, I gotta agree with Nick Wright, and I just gotta disagree.
Surprised he took time to hop off of LeBron's dick to say anything about someone else. It's amazing.
It's his wannabe LeBron clone that he can talk about for the next.
There you go. He needs the next. He knows LeBron's time is winding down.
I really just can't stand the Nets. I really can't. And I know they're damn good. I know that's going to be like it's going to be tough for us to beat them. I'm a realist here. I just really think that we have, especially with them not playing together. Like I know me and Tom harp on this, and I feel like no one else really cares about it. But like that's a big thing, not playing together. Like
huge thing.
I don't understand how everyone's just fine with it. Like all these Brooklyn people are like, oh, it's okay. What?
Wait till you see his playoff.
Yeah, guys,
not only that.
shoot 25 times a game, and you're just going to be like, oh, well, we'll just go into the playoffs. We'll just figure it out.
Added a rookie head coach. Added a rookie head coach who has never coached before in his life.
Yeah, and I like Steve Nash, but that's tough to put him in that spot.
And the second guy
go kick a
to
soccer.
him, D'Antoni, has never won anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what he'll tell you? He'll say, I think that we probably should shoot more threes, Steve. Threes? We should shoot more of them. D'Antoni. What a bum D'Antoni is.
Oh yeah. Great X and O guy. He won't defend set. Listen, you could. He ain't defending. I hate to use Bradley Beal on this because he won't. Bradley Beal don't defend a park car either. But I mean, D'Antoni teams never can defend the park car.
No,
and that's why they always were. That's why they always were exits.
Yeah, and everyone always loved them in a regular season. They score 130 points a game. And then when it happens, get to the playoffs, and the good defensive teams don't let you score 130 points a game, but everyone scores 130 on you. So then you're fucked.
Yep. Bye, James.
Bye, girl.
Did you see he had a triple double? It's like the Chris L. Colemans of the world. Sorry, Chris, to throw your shit out there, but God, I can't take it anymore. The constant harping about how we have to get Russell Westbrook on our team. Shut the fuck up, dude. Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. Russell Westbrook, good player. I'll never personally trash Russell Westbrook like I do Kyrie and Harden because I feel like those two are quitters, and Russell Westbrook's not a quitter. Always gives 110%, which I respect. But Russell Westbrook he's a guy that's never going to win. He takes terrible, awful shots. Talk about guys take bad shots in the playoffs. Holy shit. KD couldn't leave Oklahoma City fast enough because Russ took terrible shots in the playoffs. Just awful shots. I don't want to hear anything about Russell Westbrook. Good player. I respect him. He's probably going to set the triple-double record. Good for him. He'll never win anything, ever.
John, I might be 5-2. I'm not 100% sure, though. Might be 5-2. Not sure. On their 7 games that they played together. Is there a possibility?
I'm surprised it's been 7. I didn't think it was even that many.
What's that? COTY.
Coach of the year.
Oh, coach of the year. C got me. Coach of the year, defensive player of the year, MVP. Very good chance. Very good chance.
Especially if we hold on the first and strong.
Unfortunately, I think the Phoenix Suns guy's going to win Coach of the Year probably. Is that Monty Williams, right?
Monty Williams.
Yeah, I think unfortunately he's probably going to win Coach of the Year. But Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, I think Ben's almost got Defensive Player of the Year locked up. I know Gobert will probably finish second, but I think it looks like a lot of the voters seem to think Ben's going to win it. So I think Ben's going to win it. And then MVP, like we said, I think Joel's right. If we finish first in the East, Joel should win MVP. I'd love to see Doc win Coach of the Year, but I'm sure he's won it before. And on the way that Phoenix is now, if Phoenix gets first in the West, then he definitely wins it. But they might. What are they, 1 game back?
There are a game and a half.
And what's called got hurt, right, for Utah? Donovan Mitchell?
And Donovan Mitchell's at least going to miss a couple games at minimum.
Yeah, so Phoenix might take first in the West. Phoenix playing great ball. Chris Paul, I know the big knock on Chris Paul is never won anything, and it's usually because he just gets hurt in the playoffs. Or
he's with James Harden.
And guess what? He played great in that playoffs, and then he got hurt, and they lost. But Chris Paul is a fucking professional. Dude, just an absolute professional. Winner. Everywhere he goes, the team becomes better immediately. You got to tip your cap to a guy like that. Went to Oklahoma City last year. Everyone's like, "Oh, Oklahoma City's going to stink." Nope, they were pretty good. Well, then Chris Paul left. Now they stink again. Goes to Phoenix. Huh, Phoenix pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Utah's coach has a chance too. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good coaches. I don't care about the accolades. You know, I just keep saying I want an Eastern Conference final, and then I'll go from there. Yeah, it's gonna be another good game, right? Wednesday night, obviously, Sixers Suns. So they got a couple. I mean, the fact that they're at home's not
a big bonus,
but a big
huge
bonus. And I think Joel Embiid, when he's made over 10 free throws in a game, the Sixers are 20-2.
That's good. That's a good stat.
Is that good?
Yeah,
it's not bad.
That's what we would say in our group chat. I think he's going to make it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's got a chance.
Yeah. Why would you not think, Sal? Why would you not think that Embiid won't play against the Suns? That's not a back-to-back. I have no reason to not think he won't play. Unless I got to do another prayer service to resurrect him. I mean, that'd be the only thing.
He better damn play.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only way he doesn't play in that game is if he gets hurt tomorrow, and then I'll be upset that he got hurt tomorrow. So he better be playing. And realistically, we might roll tomorrow. There's a good chance we roll tomorrow. Warriors been on the East Coast. If Steph comes out and doesn't shoot well tomorrow, we're gonna roll them. If he shoots well, they'll stay in the game.
Yeah. He can go for 40. You know that can happen.
I mean, he's been going for 40. I feel like the last couple of weeks he's been filling it up.
P-Mac, I agree. I mean, I care about that accolade for Joe because I love Joe. But I'll take going to the NBA Finals over that. If you had to put a gun to my head, not to win it.
If you're choosing one or the other, absolutely, I'm choosing the NBA Finals. I'd still like to see him win, and I think if we finish first, he will win it.
Well, right, you can't say that, right, because you see all the teams that have pulled players out on ESPN primetime games, so you can't even run with that one. He's playing regardless because it's not a back-to-back, but the primetime had nothing to do with it. We're watching all these teams decide not to play guys on primetime games.
Yeah, it's the reason the NBA is fucking garbage.
Bunch of fuck yous.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been crazy.
It's a joke. Whoever even pays to go to these games is a joke by me because half the guys don't play and you got to pay like $180 to go to a fucking game. It's insane.
I'll pay money to go to a baseball game.
Yeah, the guys are playing at least.
Yeah. Well,
most unless it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't go on Sunday.
Well, that's the only sporting event I really love to go to. The rest of them I love watching at home too. I love watching baseball at home too. But I don't really unless
you have a great seat. I feel like the upper deck seats aren't great for I like hockey when you're there. But also when it's a higher seat, I don't like it as much. I went to the Sixers game last year, like 11th row, Doug Morgan's season tickets, which are phenomenal seats, and that was a great time. But you're really close to the action. Any farther away, it's like to me, you get a better view at home.
Yeah, you do.
And you don't pay anywhere near as much money. I feel like $240 that day. That's
and
a lot
cheaper
of money.
beer.
Yeah, the beer's a lot expensive. Very expensive. Cadillac Grill gets a little pricey.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
that place is out of control.
If you're going, you got to do it up, Greg. You're sitting 11th row. We were trying to get. They have the bar that's down on court side, behind the thing. We were trying to get passes there. The girl wouldn't give them to us. Come on, let's go. We need them courtside bar passes.
Do you know who we are? I'm Willie Vegas.
Do you understand this? I lose money gambling constantly. Do you know who I am? Fucking, I thought I did hit Bryce Harper homer today. Fucking Yankees. I thought I had a gimme parlay today. Fucking scumbag Yankees, dude. The Yankees just can't beat Tampa Bay. It's hilarious. And you think that we're having trouble in here at 8-7. The Yankees are 5-10. Holy fuck!
Yeah. Hate to see it.
I hate to see it. Chris, I think that tomorrow night, Chris, against Steph. I can see him trying to jack a bunch. What would be nice is maybe Seth. Maybe Seth. shoots with his brother a little bit tomorrow night. That'd be nice. But he does that.
Well, that was a bomb. I miss Harper's. That was a bomb.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah,
as soon as he hit it, I said, "Oh, catch that!"
He didn't miss it.
Nice.
Yeah, he had a couple. He had like 3 good hit balls today. Well, I read something earlier, so I'm not the biggest on this fucking all these analytic shits, but so he has the most balls hit over 100 exit velo on the season, 14, and he's only had 5 hits out of them. And they were saying the law of averages tells you if he keeps doing this, he's going to get more hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, hitting balls hard is a good thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely a good thing. That's Tom Verducci was saying the average right now is most guys are hitting over 500, right over 500 balls at over 100 exit velo, and Harper's hitting 300.
Yes, you think that would average
So
out?
you would think it would. Yeah, you think it would bump up. So that's good. And like you said, 3 more games at home for the Phils, obviously against our former manager coming up the next couple days. Got to take 2 or 3. Got to take 2 or 3 from San Fran. Would love to sweep, but you got to take 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
And 2 big games for the Sixers. Obviously Golden State, which I think that we should roll them. But if Steph gets hot, anything can happen. And then Phoenix, that's a big game. We want to maintain this 2-game lead we have on the Nets here.
And we lost to Phoenix in Phoenix about a month ago, right?
Yes, we did it. Devin Booker had a big game. Yeah.
Devin Booker kind of went nuts, which Devin Booker can go nuts like that.
Yeah, that happens on occasion.
Hey, we just want to keep up.
That was right when they were starting this streak of win, playing really, really good basketball that Phoenix has been on. Right when they beat us. I think they're 21-2 since the All-Star break.
Wow.
They definitely have the best record since the All-Star break.
Yeah, Johnny. George Hill should bring a nice boost to the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, you think you probably get 12 minutes.
Good ball handler off the bench, veteran too. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so I don't know if you could see that. Ryan has a draft question for you.
Melifonwu. I like the other kid better, but he's
Cisco.
So I like Cisco, but he's a safety, Andre Cisco. But I like Cisco a lot. I actually like Trill.
Is that the same guy that does the thong song?
Yes, it's not. It's not though, but I might like him even more if he had a chair guy. I like Cisco. But Andre Cisco's a good player. I don't like the fact that he didn't play this year for Syracuse, he optioned out. I don't like that fact. But Andre Cisco is a good player. Melifonwu, I don't know a whole lot about. I know the other kid, Trill Williams or whatever, he's going pro. He went out for a draft as well. He made bigger plays than Melifonwu. He was the guy that got all the interceptions. And our defensive backfield, for as bad as we were offensively, our defensive backfield was pretty good. So I guess he's decent. I don't know much about him, bro. So Trill Williams is better than him, in my opinion.
Man, we almost made it through a whole show without an Eagles football question. Leave it to Broda to break that streak.
And personally, I don't want to know about him because I'm hoping that we take Mr. Surtain.
Oh, you know what? While we're here for a second, Patrick's still my number one guy, but I watched rookie welcome to the NFL stuff recently. Where it's Parsons, Fields, Pitts, a bunch of guys, right? I want Micah Parsons.
Yeah, thank you. You're getting on board. Kid's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud.
He's going to be a star.
If you listen to him talk, this is one of the most competitive junkies I've ever fucking witnessed. Bowling, everything. He's
going to be a star, Tom.
Wants to beat you in everything, and. Oh my God!
He's a sideline to sideline linebacker. If the D tackles take up blocks, which our D tackles take up blocks, he's just going to make tackles all over the field.
And the bigger thing in today's NFL, what you just said, sideline to sideline is so important, but being able to cover is important too. And he does that, and the ability to get to the quarterback, in blitz packages, etc. Like this dude's a problem. I think Surtain's a can't miss guy. I love him, right? I think Devontae Smith's the can't miss guy that could be there at 12, right? But Micah Parsons, just hearing him and watching him, oh baby, I'm done. I've seen enough. If you got to get up and get past Denver, do it.
You watch the film, right? You watch him play, and then you hear the stuff outside, right? You hear all the noise about, things that may not have happened. But then you listen to the kid. You're absolutely right, Tom. You listen to the kid. You listen to a talk. You listen to interviews. You like this show, and you start buying into him. And he's not. He probably won't be an issue, right? Whatever. It was. He did it.
I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that. You're right.
No, I agree. He did his during his pro day. He did an interview with Kim Jones from NFL, and he was busting James Franklin's balls for not playing him at running back. He's like, I could have been an all-pro running back.
That's what I'm saying. This dude confidence just comes off him. And when I find athletes that I know can play, and then the confidence backs it, and then the numbers at your combine back it, right? Or your pro day, sorry. When all that back your performance on the field, and then you have the confidence, and especially on the defense side of the football, that resonates, that transfers, that creates a fucking culture, baby, and that creates a culture. Hits you in the mouth, and we want to beat you, and that starts in the middle of defenses. That's where it starts. So newsflash to Howie fucking Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, you better, if you need to get up past Denver and make sure Vic Fangio's defense doesn't take them, you do it. Because if this guy goes and becomes a star in this league, which I think he's going to be now, which I truly believe in it, you can't miss. You can't allow it. Now, if you walked away with Surtain or Devontae Smith, I'm happy. But if you don't walk away with one of these three guys, I'm pissed.
I think Devontae Smith might be a bust.
I don't see it.
Great route runner.
Depends on his quarterback. Depends on his quarterback.
I don't know about Devontae Smith. There's a reason the other guy was always better than him. Until he got his leg broken.
Listen, I know you're like fucking Waddle's agent. Okay,
I'm not Waddle's agent. I'm just saying if it was between the two of them, I'd take Waddle. That's all I'm saying.
You're the same guy who would have taken the other guy last year over the other guy, so that's fine too. You're like Al fucking Davis. Okay, I see you, Al. You see me,
Al? The guy that I would have taken had a better year for Oakland.
No, stop
than the guy you wanted.
Stop it. The guy I want missed some games and still had a better year, I think.
The guy I wanted missed games still had a better year.
I don't think he had a better year. I don't think he did.
Greg.
I don't think
Greg.
Al, I see Al.
Greg. Listen. All I know is me and Greg watch a lot of football. Tom's got baseball games during football. That's all I know. Greg. Who had a better year, Greg?
I would argue that Ruggs had a better year, but that's not totally Judy's fault, right? Judy had
also a lot better quarterback play. I was gonna say a lot better quarterback play. I'll give you that.
He had a lot better quarterback at Derek Carr than Drew Lock. So
I'd say a lot better quarterback play. I'll give you that.
Hold on, guys. Are you both okay? I just want to make sure you both are.
Denver's throwing the ball every fucking possession, dude. Of course.
So now we're doing that. Now we added that.
I'm saying what? Because you're probably gonna be like, well, he had 12 more catches. What's it called? Ruggs was more dynamic, had more big plays by far.
Okay, so here you go. Henry Ruggs had 26 receptions for 452 yards, 17 an average of 17.4 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. Okay, Jerry Jeudy had 52 catches, 856 yards, 16.5 yards average per catch, 3 touchdowns. So who had the better year?
Ruggs.
What? What?
Ruggs had the better year.
Their average yard per catch are like the same, and the other guy doubled his numbers. What are you talking
It's about? Because they were throwing the ball to him every play.
That makes no sense. Oakland threw the ball a ton too.
No, they didn't. They ran the ball and they threw to the fucking Darren Waller every possession.
Because they went and got a show pony.
That is true. When you get a show pony, you got to go to him.
But that's my thing. Like I like Jalen Waddle, but like I think Jalen Waddle is what we already have. I think Devontae Smith.
I will say that I think Jalen Waddle.
We don't have a Waddle. Sorry,
better than what we have, but the same type of player. Yes,
I will agree.
I do say Jamar Chase is the guy that I think is the best player receiver in the draft. Like I think he's better than all of them, but if it was strictly between the two Alabama guys, I would lean Waddle.
You know what's funny?
Smith is so tiny, he scares me. 160 pounds.
Smith is my number one wide receiver on the
Over
board.
Chase? Are you crazy?
Maybe.
Are you? How high are you?
I'm not.
That's probably a lie.
It's not a lie. I never lie to the people.
You just did. You said Smith was the best receiver.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Greg, how can I run from my comments though? Like, I'm a guy who stands on the hill. You
stay on the hill. You're going to die on that hill, but stand on it.
Hold on. I do 5 shows a week, so I'm going to say some things. So when I said on a Monday morning quarterback, I believe that this guy's going to wear a gold jacket when it's all said and done, and now I'm not going to have the number one wide receiver on the board, that means I got gold jackets all around.
That's true. Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit? No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't realize that you made that comment, and then obviously you got to stay on that hill. Yeah, I agree. You're there.
Come on, you know.
But I think Jamar Chase, I would think, in my opinion, Jamar Chase and Pitts will both go before Waddle or Smith, but then they're going to be right there, right around where we pick, is right where they're going to go probably. Especially if there are people really talking about 5 quarterbacks in the top 6.
I just think
there's a lot of talk about 5 QBs in the top 6. That just pushes everybody down.
Yeah.
I just think when you talk about all these like Bama players and skill position guys, the reason like I love these guys even more than like other players is because like the competitive atmosphere has been built there since the second they walked on the fucking campus. Right? Like the second they walk on the campus, you have wide receivers of Calvin Ridley. Like you have, you know what I mean? Like the list goes on when you walk in the door of the amount of talent that walks out the door and plays in the NFL. So like you're almost built to be a competitive fucking junkie. And then by the time you
I agree with you. But then my question to you would be, then how do you explain the fact that Waddle was always better than him? Always higher than him.
Yeah,
I don't have an issue with Waddle. Waddle's 3. Like it's not like I'm down on Waddle. Like if he was the only guy there, I wouldn't be pissed off. I'd be like, okay, please stay healthy, right? So like I think he can play. I'm not. There's no questioning Waddle. There's like I didn't think Ruggs couldn't play. Like they have a skill set. I think Waddle's a way better route runner than Henry Ruggs. I'll put that on the fucking record right now.
Yeah, and he might be as explosive.
Henry Ruggs was a John Ross type to me. That's what concerned me. You know, a great 40 time, cool, but is he in every? You know. Can he make every catch for you? Jalen Waddle can make every catch for me. He can go over the middle. He ain't scared to go over the middle. I've witnessed that. I've watched that. I watched a ton of Bama games. You know this well.
He's actually bigger than you think too. Waddle. He's not small.
No, he's thick. He's thick.
Yeah,
he's almost like Judy. He's built like Judy a little bit. I think Judy's a way better route runner than Waddle is, just because Judy's that great of a route runner to me. But Devontae Smith, in terms of route running, him and Judy are like right there. Like they're great route runners, so I think they automatically convert. Now the size doesn't worry me because I watch guys like Marvin Harrison come in the league and you know and not be a big guy. I watched Chad Johnson come in the league at $180. So I mean, come on,
Marvin was a tiny guy. I agree.
If you get open and can absorb hits, then I'm fine with it. But the only reason I got Chase 2, right? The only reason I have Chase 2 is because the year off has bothered me with a lot of prospects a little bit. And then when you did play, and I'm not taking this away from you because they all play with a ton of talent, but you play with the number 1 pick of the goddamn draft and the rookie of the year. So I believe you can play for sure, but I'm not taking you over Parsons. I'm not taking you over Surtain. I'm not taking you over certain guys. That's my thing. Like I think he's gonna be a stud, but like
the only guy I don't take him over is Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly.
I think like Jamar Chase.
Exactly. Not exactly. Okay.
Yeah. I think if
I might have him fourth, but I'm right with you, Greg.
To your point, Tom, I think if Jamar Chase plays this year or this past year, he's up where with Trevor Lawrence is the best player to draft.
Maybe. I don't like.
You know what I mean?
Like this is my indictment on me that I didn't. That I feel like the year off like took me away from him. Then I'm going back and watching highlights.
That's fair. That's fair, though.
The concerning about the highlights, I feel like it's a bunch of go routes, and like that concerns me on how good of a route runner are you? Are you a specimen? Sure, but are you a great route runner? I don't know. I know the other guy on your team's a hell of a fucking route runner, Justin Jefferson. So I know that can play inside, outside. Can Chase do that? The experts are going to tell me yes, and because the production equals a yes. but I watched the other guy in Alabama get open because he's a great route runner, and got open when the other guy went down. So think about that. Like he got more open when the other guy went down, and everything's locked in on him.
Yeah,
that's like how do I not put that guy ahead just off his last year's production? And I could be 110% wrong. And Jamar Chase could be the gold jacket guy. I don't know. I think the year off hurts him in my book, but the experts all got him high. But this won't be the first time. Justin Blackmon was a guy who was high on boards and never panned out. There's a lot of big wide receivers that don't.
Justin Blackmon was damn good, though.
So was Chase.
I'm just saying, Justin Blackmon was damn good in the pros and just smoked his way the fuck out the league. I mean, he had I think he came back from smoking his way out of the league and had 10 for 220 and then smoked his way right back on out the league again. What the hell happened to Justin Blackmon? Did he just catch 26 balls in 2 weeks? He got high again. Oh, okay. No, yeah, but Justin.
And then
Blackman's
I got
great.
high. And then I got high.
But Charles Rogers is a better comparison there, Tommy.
Sorry.
Charles Rogers is a guy that went extremely high. I think number 2 overall.
Yeah.
And I mean, he smoked his way out the league too, but he didn't work for it. He got there.
We loved him.
He got there and he didn't work for it because he was already not playing great.
Oh, there's other guy, Mike Williams from US.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams,
USC.
Best catch I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Dirtball Mike.
Remember how good we thought he was going to be when he caught that ball? Like, he's going to be so good.
Well,
He's going to be so good.
You just call it
like this.
Dirtball. Throw it up. We got to go up and trade and get him. Thank God we did. And listen, there's been other guys, smaller guys, that have been bust too. Nobody knows. But the separator is when I get to hear a guy talk, and that's separate. I'm telling you right now, my whole board shifted after Michael Parsons talking, and the amount of importance the middle linebacker really is in the National Football League, unlike what the Eagles think. Okay, is my big board now? He's fucking 2. He's 2. He's 2. He jumped every quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence. He's jumped them all. And the year off, I don't give a shit because the year on,
he just said, I have an issue with all the guys took a year off. Now he doesn't give a shit.
Not Parsons.
There's 2 guys that fit my agenda that the year off don't matter, and that's Sewell because he's a fucking problem, and that's Parsons. I'm gonna hold on. Dude, Chase is number 2 on my wide receiver, so I'm not holding it against him that much. I just hold him against him for my agenda with Devontae Smith. But Wills, I'm telling you, Wills, I don't know what it is. I've never felt like that about a linebacker where I'm like, dude, I feel like this guy's can change the defense the second he walks in the door. The second he walks in the door as a rookie, I think the confidence just goes. And we already know
I'm right with you, dude. I'm right with you.
Know he can play.
I think he's an absolute star.
And where do linebackers come from? Where do they come from? Penn State loves linebackers.
Linebacker, you?
Go get one. Come on. Number 2 on my board now. Number 2. Go get him. Trade back up, Salvatore. Get back in. And everybody knows that that's a Penn State fan, right? He was a problem on the football field there.
Yeah.
You go watch his tape, and then all the shit and shorts and the tee, and then the talking. All of it says,
and then watch that Penn State couldn't stop anybody this fucking year, and
because he wasn't there.
Penn State's defense. Well, maybe their fucking best player is not playing. That's probably what happened.
Pretty important.
And I'll tell you what, and not that any of them were up at Chase or Parsons' ability. Especially playmaking ability, but they had some other guys run really good this year from the defensive side of the football. OA is another guy probably going to go, second round as a linebacker. But they turned out some athletic monsters this year.
Well, that's what they do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't know. I just see the way Tampa went out and got a middle linebacker, and their defense changed. I look at Pittsburgh with their addition of a middle linebacker 2 years ago, and their defense got better the second he walked in the door. And I look at all around the National Football League.
I mean, Baltimore's a staple, right? Baltimore's always got linebackers.
Yep. You look at Baltimore. You look at all these teams around.
Indianapolis, another one.
And they're saying he's he might be better than Darius Leonard. He has the ability to be better than Darius Leonard. So guess what? If you have the ability to be better than Defensive Player of the Year, which I think he won maybe last year or maybe didn't, but Rookie of the Year.
He's right there.
whatever. I don't even care about them things. He's a pimp. And that guy's 2 on my board. He's higher than any other quarterback. If I'm the New York Jets and I want to change the culture, I take Micah Parsons. And people are like, I thought you're crazy, Tom. You're crazy. Okay. If you want to change your culture immediately, go draft the best middle linebacker in football and set a tone. So you can't do it now because you trade Sam Darnold. But if I would have said, you know what, I'm going to keep Sam. I'm going to try a little something different. I'm going to try a little something different. And I'm not a Sam guy. I'm just saying he's better than these other quarterbacks. This is where teams reach and make mistakes. This is where mistake city happens. Sewell is better than all these other quarterbacks. Surtain, to me, is better than these other quarterbacks. You can make a case that Chase and Smith both are better than these quarterbacks. You really could.
Absolutely.
Maybe even Waddle.
Maybe even
all three. Maybe even Pitts.
And Pitts. Forgot all about him.
Yeah. You can make a case for all of them. Like, the quarterbacks always go higher than they should, especially like the 3rd and 4th quarterback.
Yeah.
Who,
like Trevor Lawrence is going to go 1.
Did.
Trevor Lawrence would have went 1 in any year. You know, any year recently. Trevor Lawrence would have went 1. But then after that, you start looking at it like, I mean, you figure that probably at least 2 more QBs are going to go top 5. And realistically, should they? I don't know. Probably not. I would say maybe around 10.
I don't think Fields.
I'm not that big on Fields. I do like Zach Wilson, but he's more like a 10 guy to me, I would say.
Yeah, I think all these guys are outside the top 10. I think all these guys, when you talk about Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and
Justin Fields is more 15 to me, and the other guys are more end of the first, if even in the first.
Trey Lance is a project to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Trey Lance in the first round. No chance. I wouldn't take Mac Jones in the first round. I might take Mac Jones in the very end of the first round because he's a leader and he played good, you know. So I think, okay. And I would think the very end of the first round is a team that's a good team that has a good quarterback, and he's not ready to start right away. I wouldn't think.
Like New England makes sense at 15, but you know what I mean? Like that makes sense at 15 for a guy like that. But like I think Trey Lance is a guy not even a first round guy if I'm really looking at it. Yeah. And I think Zach Wilson's more of like a 10 to 12 pick. And
yeah, I agree.
And I look at Justin Fields.
I think Fields is right there too. Same area.
15, 20. I look at Mac Jones as more of a 20 to 32. But
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I'll give Justin Fields a little bit more than I have previous Ohio State quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields can actually throw the ball a little bit more than those other guys, but he is a product of that system, right? He is a product of that system, but I think he can throw the ball a little bit more better than the previous Ohio State quarterbacks that we've seen come through.
Johnny, I wouldn't burn the Nova Cares. I wouldn't burn the city down with Christian Barmore.
No. I don't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily like him at 12, but I wouldn't hate it.
The dude can play.
He can play.
This dude's the reason Bama stops the run like they do.
You're gonna have to talk me. You're gonna have to talk me. You know, a little bit. You know what I mean? I might be like, what's going on? And then after you watch him, you know, eat up a couple guys, you're like, all right, I'm back in.
Listen, you can draft 4 different Bama guys or 5 different Bama guys at 12, and I don't blink an eye. And I'll tell you the list right now: Surtain, Smith, Waddle, Barmore, and even Najee Harris. You can draft 5 of them there. You can draft 5 of them. I'm telling you, because they all can play. So I'm not saying you do that. You know what I mean? But you can. Like they're like them guys are all top 12 players in my opinion, or top 15, I would say. And really talent-wise, but because of need, they won't go there, obviously. So, I mean, and because of like, running backs and life spans, and I'm watching Derrick Henry and every Alabama running back that gets drafted freaking are issues. So, I watch the trend of it, and I say, you know what? I would take him at 12 and go to fuck to sleep. If my other guys weren't there. Go to bed, and I'll just pound the ball down your throat and have an identity with Miles, Najee, and a running quarterback. Let's go. Then I can actually have an identity to win football games. But there's a million directions you can go, dude. It's about this kind of pick right now is you have to create a culture with young players. And when I look at that side of it, I either want to go guys that won, which are Bama cats, which I love, right? Even Jamar Chase is a winner, right? And then I look at a guy like Michael Parsons that, I think can change your defense the second he walks in the door. So I think there's a lot of picks to choose from. There's a lot of talent to choose from, and there's a lot of guys that are going to be there to choose from. There's going to be one of these guys that I just mentioned that are there.
Especially with the QBs going early, like everyone's saying. Like, there's going to push even more guys down.
So are they expecting – you said 5 in the top?
What's it called is now saying that he would not be shocked if obviously Lawrence, Fields, Wilson, Lance, Jones all go like top 8 or something.
Goodness.
Like, what? That's 5 QBs in the top 8?
Is that including trades? Like, are they anticipating people jumping up?
It would be including at least one trade, yeah.
Can I tell you something, though? The one thing we know about drafts is
they're never right.
No, yeah, and nobody ever tells you what they really want.
Sure.
So, to think people want something. Ricky, yeah. I mean, Ricky, the accountability that's held there and the standard and the talent that walks through the fucking door there. If you're a starter there and you're a big time and you end up being one of their stars, right? The way I'll take Nick Saban north all day. I mean, I'll have guys all over this locker room from that atmosphere and the accountability that's held there. Even yesterday, if you watch their, I'm not a fan of any college football team, but I watch more Alabama than anybody. And I'm not a fan. Yeah, and their spring game yesterday, I mean, he's freaking chirping. You don't walk on a field like to a 5-star freshman. Accountability second you walk on campus.
And that's the thing too. Part of that, Tom, is because they have all these studs. You got 5-star recruits playing special teams. You got guys like Patrick Surtain, all their linebackers, Dylan Moses, right, all up and down the board, running down on punt coverage because they want to play, they want to compete.
Yeah, and Greg, then you got to go earn your spot one day.
Yes,
and then it makes you into a better football player. Right? And I'm not saying they're the end all be all. I'm not taking freaking 5 Bama dudes this year, but I'm talking about that you can't go wrong with all the names that are given from Bama, and even making the case that they're all top 20 picks, and they are. I mean, they're all essentially top 20 picks right there, and they're quarterback. So there's 6 guys that are probably going to go top 20 from Bama. Now, are all 6 going to be stars? No, it's not how it works. But can all 6 be Pro Bowlers? Could all 6 maybe? I don't know. I don't know, but you had a
definitely more possible than drafting a kid at TCU.
Yeah, because they already showed they can play. I mean, Justin Jefferson, no-brainer last year. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He just won. Joe Burrow, no-brainer, winner, right? Both had success, okay? So that's why Jamar Chase essentially is a no-brainer, too. All my joking about knocking Jamar Chase, it's a no-brainer. Last time the guy was on the field, he fucking won and was a problem. So
and dominated with Justin Jefferson next to him.
Do we want to create a culture of winning? It starts with drafting. Where are them guys going to be in 4 years from now? Who are them guys? Jalen Reagor and Miles Sanders who chirp on Twitter and don't back it up? No. I'll take the guy who wants to beat you in fucking everything, right? Everything. And that's Micah Parsons. And anything that happened off the field, I don't know. But I'll tell you, those guys usually that has some little bit of criticism and it drop them a little bit, they usually end up wearing gold jackets. So I think the guy's got a goddamn chip on his shoulder, and I love it. And to me, it's do whatever I can to get him now. And I don't think they will, and that's why I'm talking it even more into existence. So, Crumbs, can we get out of here?
Damn, I didn't realize that was 2 hours and 40 already. Just flowing.
I'll start. I'll go whatever that mess was last night for that Triller fight card.
Oh, Triller.
Right?
Was it a concert? Wasn't a fight. That's
what
for sure.
Was it? Right? I mean, listen, I know they're trying to do something different with the commentary, with Snoop on there, with, drinking and smoking and do all that, right? Have concerts, but when people pay to see a fight,
the funniest thing that happened
fight
was the comment by Pete Davidson, who I don't even like, But when he said it, he looks like he's made of marshmallows. when Ben Askren walked out, I started dying. And it's like Ben Askren wasn't ready for a fight, dude.
Well,
like,
that's the other side of it.
Shape.
That's the other side of it. When I saw the way Ben Askren, and listen, the whole situation I thought was fishy, right? Ben Askren is a high-level MMA guy, but he was a wrestler. Like, it's not even like a guy was a striker. So when I saw him walk out, I'm like, there was already thoughts, all right, this might be rigged, right? If I'm Triller and I'm putting this promotion on the back of Logan and Jake Paul to try and build these fights and this new fight club type of situation, there's no shot Jake Paul loses last night, right? There's no shot. And then you see Ben.
Well, you knew he was definitely going to win.
But then you see Ben Askren walk out, and the dude looked like me walking out, like not even in shape at all. And I'm
I don't know if I would have went that far, but yeah, he wasn't in shape.
And then watching him walk away, and him and his girl or wife smiling because they just called a paycheck. Yeah, it was just a disaster. And even the referee was like the oldest guy I've ever seen reffing. And it was just all a mess, just a complete mess. Thank God I didn't actually pay for it. I didn't watch it, so that's good. I did see what Ben Askren looked like, though. Yeah, I mean, it was just an absolute disaster. And I said,
you knew Jake Paul was winning that fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're gonna keep chirping their way up until they fight McGregor and get huge money for it, and McGregor beats him, and then they'll be the end of the Pauls.
Yeah, but that's the other side of it, right? Now you got to fight somebody. You got to fight someone legit, right? If this thing's going to continue,
well, I would assume they'll fight someone else that they think he can beat, but that's like a better name.
But he's got to be a boxer, though, or he's got to be someone legit. That's what I'm saying.
I would assume it's a boxer, maybe a guy that's had some success before, but it's like past his prime type deal. I would think, and a guy that they think Paul will beat,
right?
And then they're obviously, they want to fight McGregor. Yeah, obviously, that's not a surprise.
Yeah,
that's who they want to fight. That's the target goal here.
If you keep saying that you're a real boxer and this is real and this is who you are now, cool. Now you got to actually start fighting boxers.
Just watching him, you could tell that he was going to beat Askren. Just watching him, he definitely is the better. He's definitely got the more punching power.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And definitely better hands.
Askren couldn't strike when you knew he was going to take you down.
Yeah, I was going to say he's definitely not a striker. So you're right, Greg. He needs to fight someone now that could at least maybe hurt him or do some damage to him. Some guy that puts a little fear into you. Something.
Yeah. But it was just an absolute disaster last night. I don't think it got over to like 1:30, which is so late.
It was like 5 hours of concert.
It was just ridiculous.
Did you guys really pay for a concert?
You had the D'Amelio sisters out there. Like, what are we doing? It was a mess.
And what makes me upset is that these people are famous and rich.
And they're a bunch of rich.
Bunch of 18-year-old kids that have millions of dollars from TikTok. And people care about them. Why?
Oh, my God.
Why? I hear people like, can you believe these two broke up? Who the fuck? They're 18-year-olds with millions of dollars. Of course they're all fucking each other. What the fuck do you think they would be doing? What the fuck are we even fucking talking about?
Yeah.
I hate it. That's going to be my crumb. The fucking fact that people care about some bunch of 18, 17, 18, dude, may not even be that old. I don't know how old they are. Bunch of children on TikTok that have millions of dollars, and the fact that people actually fucking care about them is mind-boggling to me. Who cares? Congratulations. I'm happy that they made money for themselves. You found your niche. I'm so happy. But the fact that people are like, can you believe that this girl broke up with this guy and then she's with this guy? No shit, they're with each other. They're all 18. They all got tons of money. Boatloads of cash. They're just walking around fucking each other. Of course, what they're doing. Newsflash: 18-year-olds like to fuck each other. In case anybody didn't know. Unfucking real. It's unreal to me. And the fact that they have that much money just upsets me too. It just upsets me even more.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Mine is what everybody's been saying. It's EDP. He's a scumbag. He's a piece of shit. He's a loser. That's all he's going to get out of me. And it's that's it for tonight. That's it. We can end it right on him.
Yeah, I mean, again, allegedly. I guess we'll say allegedly, but that's just awful. That's just terrible. Just kill the guy.
Yeah, I think
allegedly.
When you're in a sting, I think that seems pretty real. So
yeah, more than alleged.
Loser. All right, boys. Great show.
Oh,
Agree, disagree. ATD Radio. Turn your alerts on. Hit the like. Tom Arnone, Brian Wilson, Greg Milakovic, all our family out there. We love you. And obviously our doc that was on tonight. We thank you for every Sunday. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington. Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. For the best in the business. A ton of no notes around here.
My favorite thing in the week, by the way, when the Sixers fans were chanting Katie sucks, he wasn't even playing. And he was like, what the fuck? Loved it.